And are we up and running? I'm seeing thumbs up. I'm seeing lights are on. Apparently. I'm seeing people are watching, and I'm seeing myself. G'day, fancasters. Welcome.
Not recording, but that's all right.
Yeah, we're not recording. We're live. G'day, everyone. Welcome to this. It is our watch along of the AFL 2023 draft here. It's your boy Joe, and we've got a couple of very knowledgeable people about the draft, and every single youngster under 18 who is going to shine tonight. We've got Swiz. How's it going?
Well, I don't think they're all under 18, but some of them are already
in the first
a little bit.
Oh,
but
that's fair.
There'll be a few that have turned 18 already, and school is started, so this is probably the alternative for them. It'll be a much more exciting night, but I think a few that will be, it's one of these interesting nights for this, because you've seen former players go, this is where dreams start and that, but it's not the end of the world for those who I guess do miss out, but it is still an exciting time for fans and clubs, on top of what the players and the families are all going through, because this is always the night of hope. After this, anything can happen. Just because they go pick 1 or pick 40, mate, it doesn't really matter in the end of the day. But this is the night where it does give a lot of players hope. And to answer your question too, mate, I'm well. Yeah, I'm good. Jeremy, how are you, buddy?
Oh, mate. I'm doing well. It's kind of like Christmas. North Melbourne did some stuff in the in the trade period. But, for a team that doesn't do well during the season, we have multiple first-round picks, as everyone knows. Hopefully we get some more. It's doing really well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So I've been anticipating this for a while.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is all that's been on your mind, even before Ben Mackay made the move.
Yeah,
you knew that he was gone.
Man, that's it.
You just wanted a really high draft pick. We're praying to God, please. We can't wait for the end of the season to come so that we can finally get those North Melbourne first rounders.
It's the only time when the team gets better. Yes, it can happen in the trade period, in the off season, but you cycle out players, you get new ones in. I get excited. I'm like, we've got all these first-round picks, so I'm pretty happy.
What are you thinking, Bo Callahan or Fonte Mike?
You can't go Bo Callahan. We got one of those. We got Sheasel last year. That's fine.
Oh, mate, we've got from all the way from Canada, Zach Hardy watching his first draft since starting to watch in 2022. We may not have a first-round pick, but still, go Sunnies! Well, look, it's good to know that Canada has got... Welcome to you, of course, Zach. It's amazing that the Suns have got some support in Canada.
Zach, the Suns are probably going to take 4 picks inside 20 today, so I don't think you need to be worried too much. And you're going to do trades as well, so don't be too worried about what's going to happen.
Absolutely. You might not have a first-round pick, but you've got all of the points to match all those first round.
I'm pretty sure 4 are going to get taken.
Yeah, 100%.
At least someone probably pick 2 or pick 3 as well. So, for a team that mid of the table, you're going to get 4 guns that come in. Finals next year.
Oh, next year?
Yeah, I think so.
Suns, their fixture, every chance.
Yeah.
Play the Eagles and North guys, new coach.
Yeah.
It usually takes time, but sometimes you do get that sugar hit straight away. I don't know how much impact these new players will have, because a couple of them are tall, so long term. But we've seen the build over a while, and maybe Dimmer will get the best out of some of these players. So it's a massive year for the Suns.
Yeah, I think it's more dependent on, is Tuke Miller fit? Can he play the whole season? Because we know kind of in the second half of the season, at least Joe and I from Supercoach, but everyone else as well, when he doesn't play, they're missing a key cog. So hopefully he's fit. If he can, Jed Walter's going to be fantastic. Even Jake Rogers is going to be great for them. So there's definitely a few players there that are going to push them up the rankings.
Mate, Tuke Miller is always healthy. Even when he's not healthy, he's still healthy. That's how good Tuke Miller is.
Except when he doesn't play.
But he's still that good. He's still unbelievable. The work he does around the training ground as well, in terms of leadership and driving the standards for his young teammates, because we saw Noah Anderson take another step forward in his career this year with the absence of Tuke Miller. I don't think he just does that by himself. I think having Tuke Miller in his corner, helping him, he's got an amazing role model there. I can only imagine that these youngsters coming into Gold Coast with someone like him.
Yeah.
And then obviously Dimmer, and then you got Rance. Why was Rance stressed in the gear?
I thought he was coming back as a player. Like, sure.
Wasn't that the whole point
Are they
of the
going to list
picture?
him? I would love, like, because this draft is obviously over 2 days.
Alex
and then
Rance
you've got
pick 70.
Yeah, something like that, or rookie listed, because then that keeps him out of the soft cap.
Yeah.
And then throughout the season, they're like, Rance, just put on the boots.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think his contract says something like VFL coach playing and then development coach.
Yeah.
So at least he can actually put on the boots and do stuff. I know a few teams have done that with recently retired or delisted
You
players.
did it with Adelaide's Tom Lynch.
Yeah, and I think who did we pick up from St Kilda as well? I can't remember. One of the coaches we got from St Kilda that came across. I think we've done that as well with him as well.
You've been picking up coaches. We've been picking up psychologists. The guy who came, our acquisition from St Kilda is the psych man.
Whatever works, man. At least it wasn't the guy that ran like the off-field end of season extracurricular activities, tie people up to a tree. At least that guy didn't get picked up by you.
Well, look, it's a new club. Alex is asking, thank you very much for coming along. Alex, where do you predict the Crows will finish this year? I think they're the ones on everyone's mind, I guess, because they were really good last year. I think they jumped up a lot quicker than people expected. They should have been in finals this year, if not for that denied goal. They would have been in finals at the expense of the Swans. So there's a big question mark over, are these guys going to take the next step and really crack into that top 8? Because I think they really can.
Definitely could. The hard thing is with this, there's so many teams always going to be improving around them. Their midfield, they've got some key weapons in Dawson and Laird, as we know. Their forward line on its day does have some real scoring potential, and we saw all the best of that this season.
Yeah.
It's more I worry about their defence. Now, this is why there's the talks about they want to trade up with to get O'Sullivan, because now that they've lost Dode in a defence that was already probably lacking a key tool as it was. So I think that's going to be their drama.
Access to McCabe as well, right?
They do. Oh, well, isn't that... Yeah, but I still, relying on 18, 19-year-olds to be your pillars is a little bit of a worry. So I do think they're a bit weak down there.
Mate, that's North Melbourne's strategy next year, relying on 18, 19-year-olds to do the work.
So I think the Crows, if they can get the old Man City Real Madrid strategy, and we're just going to kick more than what you are, potentially, they can have a crack into that sort of, I think, the bottom half of the top 8. But if they lose one or two soldiers from their back line, I think they're going to be in a world of hurt. But it's not the end of the world. We see that everybody thinks, progress has to be linear. Sometimes there are reasons why, teams go back and forward and that. But I think long term, the Crows are setting themselves up for success. Like, Rochelle, Rankin as your two smalls with, your Thilthorpe, Fogarty. They've got some real weapons up in that forward line.
Yeah. I think, as you say, it's the development of the younger guys in that forward line, but also you really hope that Tex maybe not can go to another level, but can actually keep up his consistency, because he is getting older. So it really just depends. Hey, if he can stay fit, if he can stay healthy, then no worries. But if he starts to slow down, I don't trust their key forward stocks to be able to do that. When we did our draft, when we did our ladder predictor video, I did have them just breaking in, or at least that kind of 9 to 10 range, which I think is pretty fair.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think that's where the Crows in particular will be really hoping that the likes of Riley Thilthorpe, can take that next step in their career. He had a pretty poor year. I don't imagine the Crows would be super happy about where he's at this point. A massive preseason required from him because he's the one. Because we've seen Fogarty improve. It's just we need Riley as well to take that next step as Tex gets a bit older. So there's a lot of optimism. There's a lot of, rightfully so, there's a lot of optimism around the Crows. But
they're 50-50 games. Well, they're double.
Correct.
Their games which are doubles are really 50-50. So they got the Bombers twice, Geelong twice, Swans, and then the showdown. So you'd be wanting to at least minimum 50% that. But, I think if they can sort of, so 8 games, if they can go 6 and 8, then that will put them in a good position.
Because it's tough to beat at home.
But if they sort of, if they were to drop a game to, say, the Swans or the Cats at home, and then, fall behind that ledger, it's not only falling behind that, but the teams that are going to be around them for that top 8 spot. are going to obviously get that extra win ahead of them. So I think that's going to be important for the Crows there.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one because there's like Brisbane at home. We know they're a stronghold, right? North Melbourne in Tasmania traditionally have been okay. Adelaide at home really don't have that, I think, yet. Port Adelaide definitely do, with the never tear us apart. But I remember this year there were a couple of teams that took it away from them. So as Swiz says, if they can turn those around, then I think they'll be doing okay.
They almost beat the Pies there.
Yeah.
And they almost beat the Pies at the MCG.
But that's the whole thing with these 50-50 games. I think that's the importance, because even though they were so competitive against Collingwood did what they did to every team. They just won.
Yeah.
But they get the 4 points.
And they come back from
And does
behind.
that mean, and just because that happened last year doesn't mean that'll happen this year necessarily.
Of course.
It's just, do you want me to run? I'll just, I don't know because you can ask questions, but I'll run through my sort of top 10 here.
Yeah, go for it.
And we'll just put that on the record and we'll see how close I get. And that's not to say picks 11 down to, let's just say, I feel like there's going to be probably 60 picks in this draft, probably 30 or 29 of them tonight, just the way the first round works, which is kind of ridiculous for a first round. But yeah, not saying those other picks aren't important, but the ratio of success from top 10 is a lot higher than where it, as we get further on in the draft, and that's just, that's the science behind it. Like, you're up the top, outside of a player having a really massive injury, you don't get too many flops these days. I know people go back and go, you could say Trent or Jack Watts. And that, but even that now was, when did they get drafted? Like 15 years, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you look in recent times, those last sort of 5-6 years, even like your Cam Rayner as a number one. He's not he plays every week in one of the best teams in the competition.
Correct.
He doesn't dominate, but
Plus he was injured.
Yeah, he'll still play 200 games for that club. So that's what you're kind of looking for. Like, in a perfect world, we all want the superstar, but your first line is this guy going to play 200 games for our club?
Yeah.
And that's what the top 10 should give you. And then how good they are after that is the next question.
Yeah, the scouting has just got to so much better to another level, but also the development at a junior level as well. Like academy programs, extracurricular stuff. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry who used to play AFL now has their own training camp and things like that. Personal trainers are getting involved with kids who are like 15, 16 and running them through until they're like 18. So top 10 now is so much better, or top even first round, second round players are so much better and fitter than what they would have been 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. So pick one, we've got West Coast, and as much as I'd love a trade to happen there, it looks guaranteed that they're going to take Harley Reid.
Yeah, that's fine.
You boys believe that as well?
Yes, for sure.
That's how we're going there.
Have you seen the media? There's like 4-page spreads in Perth media already about this kid. Like, if they don't take him, heads will roll at this club.
100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like
People are getting chopped.
We were having a chuckle before. It's like, I'd love pick one, Nick Watson. And nothing against Nick Watson, going to be a great player, but it would just and that's where we were talking about like the draft day movie, Vontae Mack, can you pick one? Just throw the draft boards completely out. People be scrambling. What the hell's going on here? So pick two, and I guess Jeremy and I were saying this. This could go either way, but I think North don't bid yet with pick two. They just go straight out McKercher. But nonetheless, if it's Walter or McKercher first, I think North are pretty locked into McKercher. Hey, mate?
Yeah, I think so. And I think teams are slightly calculating as well. Hey, there's a few trades that are supposed to happen at 7 o'clock once it opens, but teams are calculating, cool, if it gets picked on pick 2, this is how many points we have to spend. If he gets picked at pick 3, this is how many points. So it doesn't really matter either way now, I think.
Yeah.
Similar to Dacos, like last year when that happened too.
Yeah, so that wouldn't surprise me even, depending on if North wants to be in the good books of Gold Coast, maybe for future trading, they could potentially leave that
Geelong.
to... Yeah, they could
If we were Geelong, then maybe. But
they could leave it to Hawthorn, or they could just go straight out to 2. But yeah, so I think that'll be McKercher. Then they go Walter at 3 before going with their pick 4. Still, it wouldn't surprise me if they went Curtin, but I think they're going to go Dersma. And I think Dersma's going to be one of these players that the media is going to continue to call out, he's not showing us as much as what we thought he would be. But I think he's very much in that sort of Petrarca, Dusty kind of fold. Even, you look at Gaz Jr., Fife, Danger when they first started, played a lot up forward. as they sort of developed, and then after sort of four or 5 seasons, and after that many pre-seasons, get into that midfield and just go bang. And I think this kid could be the best player from this draft, but he's not going to be the best initially.
No.
But in 5-6 years' time, we're going to be talking about this guy as an absolute jet.
I can't wait for him to go to North Melbourne so that we can then pinch him later. Join his brother.
And then get his sister too, apparently. And that, I think Yaz is might be considering.
Yeah,
as
got a
well.
friend, Kieran.
Yeah.
Kieran Monahan, join your holiday.
Mate, it worked really well for Dunkley. So, you can try that again and see if it's going to work for Dersma as well.
Mate, his brother was in the VFL. That doesn't count.
So what? Zane's...
Xavier's not going to be playing VFL for us.
Xavier's going to play VFL, mate.
Xavier's
going to play VFL. Give it 2 years, delisted VFL. That's it. What's the bet on his contract? How long does he last at the Bombers? I don't think it's going after this one.
All right, mate. Dersma at 4.
So 5 is Hawthorn's pick. And then this is a dead flip of the coin. Is it Curtin or if it's Watson? I don't think they're taking Sanders.
No.
No. They're back in their midfield.
And they've got the mids there. We've seen with Newcomb and Day in particular.
Yeah.
But they've even went out. Was it last year? They got McKenzie. They've got some good
Nash,
as well. Apart from the other ones they already have.
Yeah.
But they're actual A grade talent. So I don't think that's where they're going. Do we need the small forward now that they've lost Brockman, or do they need support down there for Sicily? And that's going to shape the next few picks.
And they might lose Wingard as well.
Yeah,
potentially the way they're going to do that, because we've seen that happen with Hugh Greenwood before.
That's trade bait.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be actually that upset.
No, I don't think they'd be upset, especially if they pick up Watson at that pick.
I think Greenwood was different because he was counted as DFA. So he was still under contract, but the DFA happened. So we actually picked him up as a delisted free agent, not in the draft.
But I think you could have actually picked him in the draft, just the way Gold Coast were actually doing it. Yeah. I think it actually is the similar situation. So we'll go down to 6, and I think this is the biggest lock we've got.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason somebody went early on him. But Sanders, Bulldogs, Bulldog supporters, I think you can be pretty confident that you'll pick him up.
Yeah.
I've lent to Nick Watson for a while, but more and more of it, like you look at that Bulldogs midfield, as much as they don't need really midfielders at this very point, that midfield is aging. Bond, Chalor, we've talked about Dunkley going out, McRae.
And Hunter as well, and Bailey Smith probably
Bailey
goes
Smith
next
could.
year.
So outside of Bailey Smith, who could leave still, a lot of that midfield is 27 plus. I think they do need that.
Plus Bevo loves mids.
The kid's a talent, man. Like Dunkley left, and this kid, apart from the goal kicking, which could develop, this kid's almost like for like.
And they're not taking talls, because we know they're getting Croft later as a father and son, and they're drafting for the last few years
has been tall.
Has talls, Jamara, back even from Norton.
Darcy's
Norton,
a tall.
Darcy.
If the Dogs don't take a tall forward in a year, then they haven't actually gone to the draft yet.
Yeah, that's right. Then Melbourne's the one that's thrown the spanner in the works by taking the bolt. Well, it looks like taking the bolter and Caleb Windsor.
Well, that's what I'm looking at the draft guide now, and that's what Cal Toomey has as well.
Yeah. Cal Toomey's on the money most times, though.
And that's
knows
the one
his
that's
stuff.
changed. Like, I actually thought originally Melbourne were looking at probably trading that one out or trying to move up, but I think now Hawthorn have shut down the idea of moving up. But they're pretty hot on Windsor. And I think Melbourne's that sort of different situation where, because of where they're listed at and that they're pushing, theirs is a little bit maybe more needs-based than what... so they can kind of take a bit of a risk and a punt on this too, because they're going to be, pushing for finals and premierships again.
And James Jordan went to the Swans.
Yeah. I have a question for you. If Melbourne and North trade and they get pick 3 and then we get 6 and 11, who are Melbourne taking at pick 3? Dersma?
Yeah, Dersma.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Because it might happen.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. And that's probably the good thing. I think a lot of the clubs will be a lot more conservative, but we have seen, in particular, Melbourne and GWS are very aggressive at this time of the year. Giants are very much, and they're the next team, which will be float back to 8 because 7 down to 8 because of that Walter bid.
Mm-hmm.
And they've shown, like in the past, they've had a lot of top end talent. But they've instead of going, okay, we just want lots of numbers, a bit like North are now trying to do and get in because they probably need to. The Giants are all about, no, we just want the best talent. We don't actually need a huge amount of numbers. Yeah. That's why they traded up last year for number 1, got Cadman. A couple of years ago, they did that trade which paid off beautifully to get Finn Callahan. So they're all about the top picks. So as much as James Leake has been linked to them, I think they definitely are the team that trade out. And if there'll be a few clubs come knocking, North Melbourne, potentially Melbourne, I wouldn't be surprised if Essendon, but the big one will be West Coast, and I can see West Coast backing themselves in, trading their future first to get into the Giants, which I think for the Giants, it's just at that point, you've just got to do it. I know a few West Coast supporters have been saying to me, no, we'll be better and that. We've been pretty active on Twitter, my good mate, myself and Grimo, for the last couple of years saying, we got the West Coast strategy, you're in the premiership window, you got one, you may as well have another crack for another, but it was always going to end to this situation, and I don't think it's going to improve overnight. It's going to be at least another year of pain. I definitely think they're finishing bottom 4, but for the Giants, it just makes sense. Okay, yeah, they've still got another pick later on. They can still pick somebody up for the now, and then next year go again and hopefully be getting another top 4, even potentially pick 1 or 2.
Because what do they need,
to add.
the Giants?
They don't really need a lot. But
their list is so well-rounded and so balanced.
So they can do something like this, where they can potentially get another gun. So you have Cadman, Callahan, and potentially another top 2
I think
pick.
a midfielder. I reckon the best midfielder next year, if that goes to West Coast. Sorry, not West Coast. If they go to GWS, they'd be very happy.
That's right.
Because Canelio's getting older. They've just lost Hopper and Taranto. They're moving people around,
and they've already got Sam Taylor,
Yeah.
who's there for the next 10 years.
Yeah, correct.
You've got Cadman there for the next 10 years.
And Hogan's actually remembered how to
Himmelberg
kick.
extended as well.
Yeah, but
Hogan
I'm
knows
thinking
how to
about
kick
the
goals.
kids who are really young.
Yeah.
Right? Briggs is fairly young still. So you've got, but you've got the linchpins and Taylor and Cadman. And you've got Callahan, who's more your inside-outside. If they can get just one more midfielder, you're looking at 4 really high-end talent players to take them through for the next 10 years if they can keep them together. And that's their whole list build. They love that strategy of going, okay, we're going to pay our top 10 players ridiculous money to keep them, and then the rest of our guys are really role players on minimum money. And they will get guys who are state league players, whatever, to fill the gaps. And Carlton's kind of got that list strategy at the moment too, but it's like we're all in on this 10, that 10 will carry us, and then the role players just come in and play your role.
When you get Blake Acres across for peanuts, what's he on, like 250K or something, and the guy's getting 30-odd disposals, like you're laughing.
Yeah, that's got to be
but
the
they even like
pick of
the Giants, like, Lockie Keefe plays a role. Yeah, they got Riccardi's coming on, but like all these guys, it's like they
Callum
play
Brown.
the role. Callum, exactly.
They poach him.
Yeah, but their superstars are genuine superstars.
Correct.
So I think West Coast there, and then if West Coast get that pick, it's curtain. It's just as simple as that.
How does it slip? How does he slip even further? I can't believe it. Like, at this point, Dan Curtin.
And if you're West Coast, you're doing that because you go, okay, here's the guy that can potentially either play key position or
can play in the midfield.
We talk about Bont and your Cripps and these tall midfielders. So in the next part of the next generation of people, the next 10, 15 years, maybe that tall midfielder, which was 193, is now 195, 196 because the heights keep growing in society. And we've seen that, you look at rucks back 30, 40 years ago compared to rucks now. I would not surprise me that this kid with the tankies he could have could develop into this massive tall midfielder.
Yeah. I mean, the Great Depression finished a few years ago, so we'll be right.
We'll be right. Pick 9, that's with Geelong, and I think they bid for Reid for the Suns, which will be a simple match for them. Can't see that going too many other ways. And then pick 10, which will then be Geelong. This is a real debate. I don't think they want to take O'Sullivan. I think they're leaning towards Leake. Where Adelaide, on the other hand, need a Sullivan, as we talked about with that question before. So I think the Crows try to trade up. Geelong can push back a couple of spots because they know Essendon aren't taking Leake anyway, and they can just pick him back up in a couple of spots further down.
Correct.
So that's where they're going because they want the swingman because they've already got De Conning. So it's like, okay, it's kind of a better replacement of Radaglia, who kind of is that swingman anyway. So it's like, okay, we'll get Leake, do that, and which I think is a bit more mobile, while Radaglia's plays a bit more taller. But so I think that's how they go with that.
Yeah.
And
our eyes on Caddy. We're not going to pick those.
And Adelaide
picks.
gets the key fullback that they desperately need.
And that's the big thing too, is if Geelong can get pick 10 and pick 14 for pick 8, and then they maybe give a pick back later on, that's fantastic. Geelong are getting older. As much as people don't want to say, hey, look, Geelong are getting old. They are getting older, right? Dangerfield probably has one more year left. Hawkins probably has 1 or 2 more years at a maximum left. So getting the good players in now, we know how good they are with a few of their kids coming in. If they can get those good players in now, they're doing fantastic.
100%.
Take the opportunity when you can, when you're still competing for finals.
Yeah, for sure. Globes, how's it going, my friend? Thanks for coming on, man. Do the Bombers trade up? Trade a future first to get up to Dersma?
That's actually, I was just looking at my messages then. I'm hearing otherwise. I'm hearing but this is, you can't definitively say yes or no. Because
Correct.
it depends on how the draft falls.
Brad Scott doesn't do it.
If Hawthorn all of a sudden takes a curtain, then this throws everything out because all of a sudden the player that people are trying to trade up for, which I'm gathering for Essendon is Curtin as well.
Yeah, we love Curtin.
Yeah.
Brad Scott came out and said we'd love to go.
Yeah, so do quite a few clubs. And it wouldn't surprise me even if North did it at their second of their 2 picks there. So then all of a sudden these clubs, West Coast, Essendon, who are trying to do moves, probably don't do the move because the player that they're thinking about is gone.
Yeah.
But if he is still there, or hypothetically, let's just say the Dogs, for example, which I still think that's a lock. Well, maybe Melbourne. Melbourne might be the better one, but they're already sort of taking a Windsor. But if a club like that then took someone left field and then throws the order out again, well, yeah, of course you're going to see these clubs jumping from everywhere going, hang on, this Elite 8 as it was, well, technically Elite 10 with the 2 Gold Coast boys.
Yep.
If 1 or 2 of them are still there, well, of course you're going to be trying to trade up to get them.
We're not dead yet, Globes. We're not dead yet. I know our pick has always been a really awkward one, but that's why it was very difficult for us to try and trade up before tonight. But this is the night where things start to take different directions. Even the great Cal Toomey himself can also be wrong at some instances. If a club decides to go one way, all of a sudden he can end up with an opportunity and the phones will be working overtime.
Well, that's all it takes.
Correct.
One pick gone a bit swry. Hey, look.
Yeah.
Gold Coast don't match the Jed Walter bid, and woo, that's
And
it,
we have
mate.
we have a different box now.
Well,
we have a different team because we now also got Adam Rosa in there, who's going to be taking over the job next year.
Hawthorn apparently now even throwing up to the Giants that they're future first.
Yeah.
Because they want to get into that pick. That Giants pick is going to shape. And they're going to have so many offers. But if Curtin's there, you're accepting West Coast. So I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
But it depends because another club might go, well, here's our future first, and they might do another trade or something to get another future pick of someone. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, can we say no to a future first and a second?
Because it's really dependent on as well who's available in free agency next year, and who kind of have you got as an idea of that you want to bring in. Because there's a few really good players available. Even through North Melbourne, I know there's a few at Essendon and some other players. So, yeah, we'll just wait and see.
We talk even now this would be via trade, but Bailey Smith situation.
Yeah.
But the Hawks trade their pick kind of now.
Yep.
It makes it now they still would have to come up with some ridiculous trade to say get a Bailey Smith in, but because they have for example they go into the next year's draft or next year's trade pick and traded that pick. The relationship's done with the Dogs. But they do it now, and there's no dramas because there's no talks in place with with them. So, yeah, if the Hawks thinking that they're actually still a chance to get Bailey Smith, maybe we can go off and trade that pick now, and then there's some other wheeling and dealing, we might be able to get to that situation. Geelong might be thinking the exact same thing. Now, if the Dogs might not then accept it, but then if Bailey Smith is out of contract and can just walk to the draft, well, that leverage the Dogs have is obviously a lot less. So, yeah, maybe a couple of those teams in the play for him are getting quite aggressive here by trying to move their pick.
Wait, Globes, if you're still around, check this out. We offer a future first round pick to GWS to possibly draft Curtin at pick 7, all right? Obviously, there'd be a bit more picks to exchange as well. We're also open to offering a future second round pick as well to get pick 9. So if we draft Curtin, in a couple years' time, we trade him to West Coast for Harley Reid. There's the big brain play. Because he played for our VFL side. He loved that club. He wants to come back. Don't you worry about it. We're Destination Club.
Oh, my God, no. Stop it. All credibility out the door with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit of fun. Come on, you can have a laugh. That's what got the expected result from you. Oh, it smells nice in here.
Is it Dodoro's last draft? Like, is it his last?
Is.
Okay, cool.
It is. He's going out with a hurrah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's this big brain play in the works,
Yeah, no draft picks next year. Yay.
It doesn't matter. We don't need it. We'll get Harvey Reid.
Oh,
my God.
boys
Dinner
and girls,
time.
That's it.
Oh my God,
make
guys,
sure-
we don't want you to be jealous of this. I promise. But
The pizza's not bad. Tell you what.
Oh, this is amazing. I've got to transfer the funds to you later. Alrighty. Let's see. Anything coming new? We will chase the best key forward in the free agency. Well, that's what I think. I don't know if we will, Globes. Obviously, we've got a lot of money, and everyone and their mum is going to be throwing a lot of money at Jamara, throwing a lot of money at
I think
King.
King's up for trade as well.
So there's going to be a lot of action on that front.
It depends what happens with Dimmer up there. If Dimmer's there, King might just say, cool, look, 3-time premiership coach. I've actually got some people to help me in Jed Walter. Like, that's it.
But Jed Walter's young. He's going to take. It's going to take some time.
He'll still play. He's good enough.
He'll play, but if we pick up Caddy here, which Cal Toomey thinks we will, then that will be really exciting. I think Caddy's the exact type of forward that we need, someone who is very athletic, dynamic player with good size. He can come in right away.
I'd argue good size, but
He's better than Weidman.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's it, but he's not the tallest of tall forwards.
He doesn't have to be the tallest.
He doesn't have to be, but at the same time, as we were talking before,
We got 2 meter Peter.
Oh,
He's the size there. We got the size there.
You do have 2 meter Peter.
We have 2 meter Peter, mate. He's so we got 2 meter Peter. We've got look, Harry Jones hasn't come on as well as a lot of us would have hoped he would have, especially due to injury as well. So that's held him back.
He, to support your point, he is about the same size as Charlie Curnow. So
And Charlie Curnow's gone back to back commons.
Yes, so.
So we've got someone coming in who's the same size as the 2-time Coleman medalist in a row, and we're worried about his size, are we, Swiz?
It's just the way it's going, mate. I was just saying, because so many of these players are becoming like 200 centimetres now.
I mean, if every 193 centimetre defender was like Stephen May, then like the world would be a better place. So I don't know if the comparison to Charlie Curnow actually fits as much as what you're saying here.
I don't know. Look, I'm not the one who raised them. It was actually Swiz who raised them up.
Fair.
So, but look, it's something really exciting, and he will complement our forward line, I think, really well. So if that happens, I personally didn't think initially that he would even get to our pick. There's a lot of,
and he hasn't yet.
And he hasn't yet, of course. This is all still just speculation and predictions. But if he was to get down to our pick, we would be very happy, especially whilst also holding on to our draft picks, acquiring some upgrades through the free agency period. This is all why we decided to pay out big bucks.
And you know the crazy thing is, right? I'm just looking at some highlights from Colin McCurchy here. Hopefully you guys are watching along on the AFL app or the AFL website. But this Allies team, I think is probably the best Allies team I've ever seen. Just the amount of like top 10 or who could be top 10 talent in that team.
Yeah, well,
they're very, very good.
They're one of the better under 18 teams around. They're fantastic.
Like, they'd probably beat, I'm going to say North Melbourne, but they'd give us a run for our money this year.
The Dandenong Stingrays would give you guys a run for your
Mate. We'll see. We'll see. They can't drive, so like we'll just leave them at their home. They have to get their mums to drop them off, so we'll be all right.
That's okay. Who is going to be the best Supercoach rookie?
It's probably going to be It's going to be an interesting one.
It's a tough one to answer this because, one of those guys is going to be 102K, 117K, whatever.
Yeah.
Will probably make the most cash for us, who comes in from either the rookie draft or one of the supplement period or something like that. As in regards to the guys in the first round, who are the
probably like
expensive rookies.
Toby Pink or someone.
It'll be something like that. But as in regards to actually focusing on here in the first round, which we are tonight, I think it's hard to go away from the midfielders. I think Harley Reid, there's a big chance that he could actually even come off the half back in his first season.
Yeah, maybe.
Which could see him be that sort of 70, 80-point guy. We saw what Ruben Jimby did for them. The only problem is we're going to be paying, 220, 230K for him. So his actual cash potential is not going to be as good as some of the others, but his point scoring will probably be the best. Now, it's easy to say just the top player, but he makes the most sense because he's just going to walk into a position where they need him to play for
You know who it's going to be? it's going to be whoever Adelaide playing their defense that's rookie priced. Because every year we play, there's an Adelaide rookie that does very, very well, and we never pick them. Max Michelini, I hate you. The year before it was
that's
Hinge.
harsh.
Oh, harsh.
Hinge, I'm happy.
Not his fault.
What about
the
Big
year
Butts?
before that? Everyone as well. Yeah, and Butts. I think Butts was the year before.
Big Jordan
Hinge,
Butts.
like Adelaide, sometimes they just play defender rookies every year. Even better if they're a father-son. So McCabe is probably going to be 400K by the end of the season.
Well, there you have
Always
it.
happens.
There you have it. Just
Always.
I mean, you just got to look at the role. Ultimately, the same as always, Globes. It's always about the role that a player plays.
And
No
like-
one was going to pick Sheasel last year
No.
if he wasn't playing in
Not
the back
lining up in
line.
the back
You're
line,
not going to spend 193,000 for someone who's playing small forward.
No.
It's all it doesn't matter how talented they are. If they're stuck in a crap role, their scoring is going to be significantly compromised.
And
it's
it-
all about the role.
Yeah, but it's also dependent on what team they go to as well. Like if Sheasel went to a Collingwood that already had Dacos and already had a lot of these other players pulling out big numbers, I don't know if he'd get the 30-odd disposals like he does at North Melbourne. Ashcroft, yes, he did that, but I don't know if like a Sheasel or someone else going to one of those clubs that already has established key players in those positions would be doing those big numbers.
No, they would
Far out.
not.
They still haven't done pick one. They're not even on the clock yet.
No, it's 7:30 there on the clock.
Crikeys.
7:30 start, but it should be fairly
No.
quick.
What, pick one?
Pick one.
You take 5 minutes.
No, you take they'll take 5 minutes.
Why just put pressure on on everybody else by like instantly as soon as the clock starts?
The AFL tries to force that too. They're like, "Oh, take your time, whatever." I'd be like, "Stuff you."
100%.
Let's force there.
Absolutely, put pressure on your opposite. Put pressure on everyone else. I wouldn't be sitting on. We've known since last year, before last year's draft, that Harley Reid is the best player of this year. We've known since back then. Already, Cal Twomey was hyping this guy up from before last year's draft. So there is no doubt in anyone's mind that West Coast is picking up Harley Reid. There shouldn't be 5 minutes. It should be like a 5-second
Nah,
decision.
they like to get their limelight. They like to get their time in the sun. West Coast might not have another pick for the next day. So yeah, they're gonna milk it for as much as they can.
What are they here for? Publicity.
Yeah,
Everyone,
exactly what they're here for.
everyone knows who West Coast is.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they're here for. They're trying to give their fans their money's worth. That's
Who's
why they do it.
paying for this service? It's a
The
free.
AFL?
It's a
The
free.
AFL?
It's a free.
The AFL.
Everyone's sitting
The
there
AFL
watching
still
this for
got
free.
sponsors. Like they still have people who like would pay money to do this. On Foxtel, like there's sponsorships and whatnot. So
Yeah, I know, but the fans aren't paying to watch this. So it's not like we're giving the fans don't want. The fans have known for a long time that they're going to have Harley Reid at pick number 1.
Oh, we are on the clock. Just randomly start at 7:23.
McKercher's on. Let's go.
7:23. Okay, AFL.
Look, the AFL is arguably one of the worst run organisations
I'm pretty
in
sure
the
it was
in
supposed
the, in
to start at
the world.
7. Like
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
They're one of the worst. The AFL.
This sort of stuff they are. Like they do a lot right, but some of this other stuff, and we've all had our say about the fixture, which, yeah, it's just
How can anyone say it's a
They-
good idea?
No, there's even from commercial arrangements.
Yep.
Yes, I can see the positive, but even then, there's some of those commercial arrangements which are just like you want fans to rock up or you want fans to watch, and you're like, how is that increasing fan engagement so they do watch? But just the only way, unfortunately, we're ever going to get away with it is fans do some sort of strike. So say, hypothetically, Richmond are playing Carlton round 1. Nobody enters the ground for the first quarter. Then we still walk in and enter. But if nobody watched that first quarter or whatever, that's the only thing I would say to the advertisers, the sponsors, the AFL.
Oh,
Like, well, hang on.
here we go.
But here
There's
we
a
go. Oh, we
trade.
got trade.
Yeah.
Jez, this is your moment.
Nah, it's not.
Who's traded who?
Melbourne, St Kilda.
Yeah, Melbourne and St Kilda have traded.
A pick one is in. Oh, let me guess.
McKercher, let's go. No, just kidding. Oh, North Melbourne, don't go and give me a headache, please.
Why?
Lance Collard, pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one, Lance Scott. But you would be very depressed, wouldn't you? Would you not?
No, I'll get Reed. Reed McKercher. I'll be happy. Do whatever you like.
Bro, you've been whinging. Oh, they have to have him. They have to have Collard.
North Melbourne, pass on Reed.
Go home factor.
Could you imagine the offers Hawthorn would get if that's like, we know it's not, it's never happening, but if for example, North didn't have pick 3.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, we were just going to always take McKercher.
Yeah, we've already got him the jersey.
Pick 3 gets there and Hawthorn got Reed. Like, Cobbs would be just like, but they can't trade players. Just take these players.
You know what would be funnier? If Boomer was out the front of Dersma's house, already waiting to go, and then it's like, nah, we've taken Reed. Oh, shit, get back in the car.
Quickly jump on the plane. Yeah. We got to get over to WA ASAP.
I think that happened with Will Phillips. Like, they didn't know they were going to pick him. So, like, Boomer had to jump in the car and go off to, like, Sale or somewhere where Phillips's house was.
That's a very long drive.
It was like it was like an hour and a half
They
after.
didn't have the in-studio one that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't know they were going to pick the player.
Lol.
So they didn't set it up. So it's like, nah, see you later.
Classic North Melbourne.
But these guys are going to drag it out even further. So, like, the pick's in. It's been in for 2 minutes.
That's right.
Let's
So
not
shoot
reveal
out.
it is.
And this is the thing, because the NFL does this so well. And you know the great thing, because they're mature age. Yeah, they're all 21, 22.
Oh, here's another one.
Guess who was picked up at pick 1?
Well, they haven't actually put it on the TV, but
I have it on the app.
Yeah, but it'll be saying Harley Reid, won't it?
Yes, it's Harley
They've already
Reid.
are.
Congratulations!
I love it. They've already updated it on the app.
Yeah, the
And they haven't
TV show
actually done
doesn't
that.
care.
Congratulations, Harley Reid.
But Brisbane's done quite well. So they've offloaded a bunch of picks. They must realise, hey, look, we're not going to take many kids this year. We've got a few other players. So you can have all our crappy picks and then we'll fix it up.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought Harley Reid? Can you believe it?
It's not even come up on
biggest
the screen
biggest bolter in draft history. Can you believe it?
The final one's come up.
Oh, yeah.
It's finally come
Cool.
up.
That's exciting.
Oh, so is there no presentation on that, or is that just because of their coverage?
It's because everybody knows. He's already been presented, probably. It was so obvious that he was going to be pick 1. Congratulations to the West Coast Eagles, and congratulations to Harley Reid.
It's probably because that's the AFL thing. I'll watch it on Fox Footy because Fox, because AFL can't do that. So Fox Footy, they've got the presentation of the jumper and everything like that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
hugs in the room. So
You'll probably get it before I do.
Yeah.
Whoever gets picked. Come on, North. Pick somebody.
Well, they can't because Harley Reid's up on stage now.
Hurry up, North Melbourne. Stop wasting time. You beg for these picks and they don't even use them.
Brutus has just asked, when does Supercoach open? I want to put Harley Reid locked in my team now.
Oh, I love it. Nick Nat presenting the jersey. Nick Nat is such a cool guy. I'd love...
Pretty chill.
You know what I mean? Like, how cool would that be? You get to go shake hands with Big Nick Nat and have him present you with your jersey. That's really sick. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Big Nick Nat. North Melbourne has less than 3.5 minutes, and you still haven't made your selection.
No, they'll be taking their time. Chill.
They'll be getting some information, trying to make some trades happen. That's what it will be. Mm-hmm. Always
your pick
take
2?
a long time. No, it'll be for pick 3. Maybe we're trying to trade back with Melbourne. We'll see.
Traders in.
Yep. So we'll see what it is. Here we go. Oh no, it's
Freo, Gold Coast.
Freo.
Gold Coast, loving life. Let's just trade everything.
Yeah. Why
Good
do Gold
pizza, by
Coast?
the way, guys.
Why do Gold Coast need players? Well,
No, picks.
exactly. It's all about the picks.
All picks. Too much silence here, Joe. Come on, mate.
I can't eat pizza. The second I try to take a bite, I am so respectful to other people. It sucks. It is what it is.
Well,
We should give people here in our live audience,
thank you very much.
to jump on while we're in.
So-
No, I'm good.
So what was happening? So what was the trade that happened that just came in between?
Gold Coast are just offloading all their picks in like the 30s. So they're basically saying, cool, this one pick, you can have it, and we'll get 3 picks that are worth the equivalent. So later on next year or something, you guys can do us a nice deal the other way.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And Fremantle will benefit from this because
Well,
there
they
are
don't
a
have any
bunch.
picks.
There are a bunch of players in that 30 range this year where everyone becomes very equal, and you're very likely to find someone in the 30s range that could have very easily have gone in their career. You look back at it, and you might redraft them in the teens.
Yep. And the big thing is as well is that there's West Coast has a few players from WA who have nominated for NGA, but they can't be picked up until pick 40 by West Coast. So Freo can jump in and nab like a Lance Collard, for example, or someone. I think there's like 3 or 4 players that are in that level. What if North Melbourne pass? It just takes so long. Just click pass.
It'll be classic North Melbourne
Yeah.
if you were to do that.
Just pass. Just be like, AFL assistants, yeah, just pass. Doesn't matter. We just did it for the fun. Oh, here we go. I'm excited.
Of course, this is the part of the season that
Dan.
makes you super happy.
Oh.
Trade period makes me super happy.
Yeah.
Draft is what makes you super happy.
Yeah.
What makes Richmond super happy?
Finals, mate.
Finishing ninth. Finishing ninth it makes you very happy.
September. I don't know what West Coast are doing. They're just sitting there being like, yep, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Nah. done.
Well, they could be trying to trade up soon. Now they've got to wait to see where Curtin goes.
Well, that's it. 3 or 4.
I mean,
Could be Nick Watson.
is there any player that you
Who
can
is it?
recall in
Who
recent
is it?
times that have been so...
McKercher, there you go.
McKercher.
Cool. All right,
There we
I'm
go.
happy. He already took photos with North Melbourne players today, so I kind of knew that was going to happen. But this
It would
one's
have
the
been a
tricky
shock.
one.
Now, this is where...
This is the one that's going to shape
So
the
this
draft.
is where I think the bid comes.
Yes. I think that's where most people think that this is where the bid's going to come. I know from people that I've spoken to, as well as Cal, there's a bunch of people that we all sort of the understanding that this is where...
Did Cal Toomey have Walter at 2 or Walter go at 3?
At 3.
3? Did he drop that back?
Yeah.
'Cause I know he had him 2 for quite a while there.
But the thing that North Melbourne does now is they'll bid on Walter, get that 5 minutes out
Yeah,
of the
that's
way,
what you do. You
and
take
then they're
your
on the
time.
phone saying, hey guys, who wants our pick 3? Melbourne, you've got 2 picks. Cool, let's make it happen. So they'll take an extra 9 minutes out of all this
cool.
time. Yeah, of course. Give McKercher his...
That's what we did one year. We bid on like 3 players in a row.
Yeah.
Because in like 15 minutes... If you
Oh, was
try
it
to bid
Hawthorn that did it
stuff.
last year that bet on all those Sydney players? Or maybe it was Sydney that bet on all the Hawthorn people.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, here we go. Who do we pick? We'll wait for the bid. All I'm happy is like North Melbourne's actually getting a better team. So at that point, I'm happy. McKercher's going to play a role.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to
and
play a
the
role.
difference between Reid and McKercher. So McKercher's your guy that's getting 30 touches every week
Yeah.
inside of that.
And he's quick.
Reid will only be... Reid's your 20 possession guy. He's your Bond. He does not many possessions, but massive impact on the game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. McKercher's still pretty good.
I'm not saying he isn't.
No, his left
different.
foot. His left
They're
foot. His
very different.
run and kick is phenomenal.
Very different players.
Yeah. Are they on the phone? Can you see? Or are they just all standing around?
All Clarko's just telling these stories.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the days when I used to play footy.
Like, which one's Buddy Franklin? I want that one.
2.5 hours
Yeah. It's going to be a long draft,
with Curtin. That was insane.
Mate. Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Lukey, how's it going, Luke? Lance Collard to the Pies, please.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if North Melbourne doesn't
Oh,
take
well
him with
done.
their 3 picks beforehand. I think he's almost wasted at the Pies. They've got too many types around his style. And it's going to further push out. Like, I understand why Ginnivan left, but McCreary and there's a couple of others already there. And then they've just got Bobby Hill. And then they've just got Schultz. Like, you can't play 4 of these players. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, but you can pick them up and then make them compete for the best 22. You pick them up to overall... Collingwood don't care if Collard doesn't play.
No, they'll pick best available because their team's good enough for
Correct. They will have it be everyone fight for it, try and get your final spot in the 22, 23, and that will overall increase the caliber and consistency of their team. And then in time, they can trade out. If whoever doesn't work out, they can
Where
trade
does
them out.
McKerkich have to start on the field for you to make you pick him at 220k next year?
McKercher.
McKercher.
You said McKerkey.
So
You said McKerkey,
Like,
yeah.
like who's McKerkey?
Yeah, McKerkich.
He took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. McKerkey.
McKerkich.
He has to play on field.
Yeah, on field, halfback.
Because I worry if it's like in a half forward, like one of those roles.
Yeah.
That was the debate with people having with Sheasel. And once we saw Sheasel play in the
Yeah.
back line. So with, say, Zeeble retiring, if he was coming off the half back,
I think it really depends on who else we draft because there's a couple of them in those picks in the teams that we could really pick up. Oh shit, here we go.
The pick
I'm
is
closing
in.
my eyes. I don't like it
Why don't you like?
because it's going to be the player I don't want.
Who don't you want?
I don't know. We'll see.
Come on. Who don't you want?
I almost don't want Zane Dersma.
You don't want Zane Dersma?
No.
Mate, you don't worry. You're on the clock for another 5 minutes. This is going to be a bid for
Is
sure.
it going to be a bid?
Exactly.
Oh, mate. We
Look
don't know.
how happy North Melbourne is.
But the way they're carrying on, it's like they haven't bidded, which will be really big for the Suns. And some clubs do this. They go, okay, you've done the work. Now we'll let you
There it
slide.
is. Jed
There you
Walter.
go.
Yeah,
All right.
there
Cool.
it is.
Done.
Keith
No
No
Phillips
match.
did.
No match, please.
five off.
No match.
This will be the quickest match in the history of matches.
No match.
I would have thought they would have matched before the bid even
But
came in.
this is what North Melbourne does, right? They make the time go quick. So they draw out the time. They're
Yeah,
like,
they
cool,
know.
we want North Melbourne
This
on
is
the
North
TV for the longest
That's right.
amount
This
of time.
is North Melbourne's moment here.
Yeah.
They're going
Yeah.
to drag this out as long as they possible.
They're picking the teams.
That's
They're
it.
all
Get
going
the
5
sponsors
minutes.
on.
And then bidding like 4 times
Yeah.
on the players that are available. It's going to happen.
Okay, so this is costing them 26, 30, 32, and they get back 58 and 87.
Yeah.
Now, this is the whole problem with a lot of people having it. Now, I personally don't have a problem with the academies. I see the work they do. But this should be costing the Suns a first-round pick. So I think the next
Yes.
step on this is not the Suns having 4,000 picks at the end. They've got to trade up and have a first-round picks worth whatever Walter is worth.
right.
That's I think the problem with a lot of people having with this system.
Oh, North Melbourne's telling me we got an explosive mid with pick 2. That's exciting.
Why do you sound almost not excited?
I'm excited.
Look at him. He's like this nervous energy.
Yeah,
like
I
four-
love it.
four
we
more
could
minutes
still
to go.
About, mate.
we could still stuff up. Pick this big.
Yeah.
It's all just waiting. The bids are just coming along.
Why don't you like Dersma?
I don't know.
Why do you have against Zane?
It just depends on our forward line. Dersma comes in and is competing with 4 or 5 other people. I think if Curtin comes in and plays half back or plays like that key back role, he might be by himself available to play pretty early.
So they've got a few Rent Me Sun supporters up there to do the
Yeah.
the cheering.
Yep.
That's actually not a bad little thing they've got up there. Actually, I don't mind that.
I like this one, Zach. Welcome to the 2023 AFL Draft, sponsored by the North Melbourne Kangaroos.
And that's why we have us on TV. That's why.
Well,
we got 5 picks. That's 25 minutes of North Melbourne you have to watch.
Did I put
in
that
this
in
draft.
that group? I don't know if I put that in our group chat, but I was at the African Festival in Fed Square the other day, sponsored by North Melbourne, and
Yep.
the Western Bulldogs had their membership tent going.
Yep.
So, good to
Done.
see them reaching out,
Get
trying to
some
get as
jollof
many
rice.
members as possible.
Jollof, yeah, mate, do it.
And the Gold Coast Suns trade away picks. Listen, I just want to make finals, damn it. Lol. Zach, you very well could. You very well could. You've amassed all these points.
They get 4 plays for free.
Dimmer, look at him. What a unit.
You've got Dimmer, who used to coach these guys, but after a tragic loss to the Bombers, it was glorious. I actually,
1 in every 27 years.
I almost had a heart attack, mate. That day, it was actually insane. I literally dived to the ground, and my mum thought I died. That was an incredible game. So
Jed Walter's going to be fantastic for them. I think how tall is he? Is he 195 or 193?
No, he's taller than that. I
Yeah.
thought isn't he a bit-
97?
This is what Joe's job is.
Yeah.
Look up the exact size.
Jed
But yeah,
Walter.
this guy's he's going to play round 1, man. Next to Ben King.
But,
Levi Casbolt,
that's the thing.
you're
If they
now
can,
depth, that's
if
it.
they can hold on to King, Walter and King as
Yep.
a dynamic duo
Yep.
going forward,
They will. They'll keep both. And that's why Chol left, because he knows he's not going
Yeah,
to play.
I don't think Walter plays necessarily straight away.
Casbolt
So
said, see you later.
They don't need him to play straight away. They can
Did-
give him some
did
games in
Sexton
reserves.
get-
194.
194.
Did Sexton get
They
delisted?
did. I thought he was a bit taller than that. There you go.
Sexton, or has he got a 1-year contract to
probably
cover
got 1
his
year.
depth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gold Coast, 2 years. I give them 2 years and then they're playing finals. Either next year or the year after. That's it. If they can hold on to their talent.
So much has been sunk into that team.
Yep.
They better make finals.
But I wonder at
soon.
what point do they actually lose their concessions? I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But if they get, I don't know what the draft's like next year, but if they get another 2 or 3 first-round picks, that's a lot of that's a
In
lot of
saying that, Turk
compensation.
Miller is aging and their backline's not that strong.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they can kick goals.
Well, that was what we were just talking about with Adelaide.
Come
But
on,
it is
Wolf.
a scary forward line at least. of what they can do. And it does make the appeal, maybe not necessarily as this year, but we'll have to wait and see. But Anderson, Rao, Took in Supercoach, it's another great option to kick to. We know, efficiency, they take marks, it's more points. Yeah, it's so
what about Flanders?
They will be a bit of a watch. Flanders, Humphreys, some of these players if you're in draft leagues, I would be, and sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. Some people don't think as much about some of these other players, but have a look through this Suns list and maybe start trying to pick off some of their players.
Yeah, Jake
especially
Rogers
some of their
is going to be decent too.
Forward half players.
Zach is not all in on the knowledge of Aussie shorthand. Will Jed Walter's name be shortened to Jeddy, Jeddo, or Walto?
No. No, he'll have some made-up name already, probably like Frizzy Hair or something.
No, if they don't already have a nickname, they'll have some nickname come into.
Goose.
Like, for
Goose
example,
or Fred or something.
Nick Watson there is the Wizard.
The Wizard,
You already have that. Where some of these players, if they don't, there'll be some nickname coming.
I think every team has someone called Bull, and then there's a bunch of teams that's called like Lizard, even though like Lizard is just Blakey. There's a few players. Mate, I'm telling you, something's happening. They're working things. It's got 20 seconds left.
It's because you guys are...
pick is in.
Yeah. This is all it is. This is your relevance. This is your time of relevance.
Maybe. North Melbourne.
Your draft picks are the only points in time North Melbourne is relevant. It's not even your team that's relevant. It's the fact that you own these points that makes you relevant. Maybe. We'll see. The pick is in, and the pick you have selected.
Should you just do the bow and arrow there for Dersma?
Oh,
Jack Watts.
Yeah, I was like, what's it doing there? I'm like, it's got to be Dersma if she's bow and arrow.
Dersma.
That's all right. Oh, good. We'll take it.
And Jay's walked out of the room. No,
That's the
good.
one pick you don't want.
But I don't think he is relevant for Supercoach next year.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's going to play up in the forward line.
He's going to come to the Bombers in a few years. He's going to join his brother.
No, he won't.
I'm happy. I am very happy about this. I love it.
Look, Swiz is already gone.
I'm done.
Yeah.
He's gone. That's it. They know it's a wrap. In a couple of years' time, it's going to be the Bombers flag. It's happening.
No.
It's happening.
Done.
Sorry?
Drink?
I don't have a drink, no. Oh, it will be much appreciated. Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, sure.
What is this? Alcoholic ginger beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sponsored by
I was about to say, if there's no
James
alcohol in
Squire, guys.
James
Get on
Squire.
those.
Oh, much
Get
appreciated.
on those.
Yeah.
James Squire ginger beer.
I have no
Yeah.
internet in here at all.
Have you tried ginger beer before?
Our producer was too tight to supply alcohol. Not looking after the talent today.
Mate, I'm the one who always brings in the beers.
Oh, look at him. Oh, he's like,
I was late
sitting
today.
here in the corner drinking myself.
I was late today. Can you believe
Yeah,
it?
do a great job for us.
This
Dave.
guy is sitting in the corner drinking, not offering anybody. It's taken him, how long have we been on now? To finally for him to realise, oh, by the way, I haven't offered anybody anything. Come on, Swiz.
Well, I just did. I just cracked one open.
Look, it's better late than never. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Zach, I can get behind calling Jed Frizzy. If he doesn't like it, what's he going to do? Fly to Canada? Just because I'm foolish enough to move from the US to Canada doesn't mean others aren't smarter. Mate, you're a smart guy, Zach. Don't sell yourself short. The fact that you're in here watching this with us proves how smart you are.
Yep.
Honestly, is there a better way to spend...
No, yeah, he's going to be a great player for you guys. So that you wait until he develops in a few years. It's scary. North Melbourne's forward line... It's
gonna be fun.
It's going to be fun. Forward short at the moment from being really scary.
Charlie
but a
Comben.
great front half.
Charlie Comben.
Good midfield.
Get fit. Let's go.
Who are you telling to get fit?
Charlie
Big
Comben.
Charlie. Big CC.
Oh, big CC.
CCs.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's got talent.
He just needs his body right.
That's so many players.
It is. North Melbourne's had major history with injuries. These guys are playing 2 or 3 games and then getting like soft tissue or getting like a
But
leg
this is the
fracture or
problem
something.
because it's bringing some of these tools in too early instead of the luxury that other clubs have just to develop them
Yes. Yep.
in the VFL.
Yep. I'd agree. Yeah. That's why we throw money at all these players and they say no. It's like, well, that's,
Yeah, what more can you do than that? You've got the salary cap, you try to throw the money, nobody comes. That's the problem with the system. Because for some players, it's not just about the money, especially the top end guys.
Yep.
So then you've got to go to the next rank down, and that's how you end up getting Jared Pollock for 5 years.
Well, I mean, like, even your Marbiel Chol, North puts in a bid for him, goes for a lot more money at another club, who is probably, maybe a little bit higher on the rankings than what we are, but not by that much. It is just what it is, I guess.
So it's like, how do you change that?
Yeah.
Then this is the
You have to develop the talent.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. And I think, they'll get their way of this whole salary cap dumping and everything like that. But all that's going to do is, say, for example, Essendon this year, you have all this cap. Okay, so we're going to trade it for picks.
Yep.
But if those picks end up leaving in 4 or 5 years anyway, it's just this vicious cycle.
It's about the culture. Having a
mate.
nice winning culture where everyone buys in. That's something that North Melbourne hasn't had. And it's been very hard. Essendon offer a lot of money, as well as big games. Like, whenever you see a recruit come to Essendon, they'll cite Anzac Day, Dream Time at the G.
That's fair.
As big games in front of
Dream
big
Time at
crowd.
the G's carried you guys along for a while.
Yeah, but that's
As well as Anzac Day, though.
That's interesting because since 1996, North Melbourne have won more premierships than Essendon. in
Yeah, of
that
course.
time. And they play in the big games like Good Friday.
Yeah, but we've only got the one.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They're getting carried by us big clubs.
Yep.
We need to change that.
Done.
You say big games like Good Friday. This guy. He's the ripping you a little bit here.
Josh Bruce kicks 15, we'll be right. Can't do that again. You're delisted, mate.
Yeah, so it all comes from the culture.
Now, here is the moment. Hawthorn. This could go one.
Come on, pick
Who this?
Two ways.
Pick her.
Oh, this guy. They've picked him. They've picked Watson.
Yes.
They've
Really?
picked Watson. This is going exactly as I
I'm
hoped
5
it
and
would.
5 so far. This is good.
So is Cal Toomey.
Bugger him.
That's crazy.
Brockman out, Nick Watson in.
That's crazy.
That's
Very
that's good for
fitting.
the
Well,
Hawks.
it's their Cyril Rioli, right? They haven't really had someone like that for a while.
That's very good for the Hawks. On that
And
forward
their
line.
backline's good enough.
He's going to be
forward line.
he's going to be highly entertaining to watch this kid.
Yeah.
Especially when the fact that he kicks
Money
out...
ticket.
He
Money
kicks
ticket.
out Ginnivan, who joins this team.
No,
thinking-
they'll be up together, mate. That's a scary small forward.
Ginnivan's crap.
No. He's good in a good team.
He is overrated AF.
I think he's reminds me a bit like Jaden Stephenson, mate. They'll be fine in good teams.
Yeah.
As long as you're allowed to give them a little leeway on there. But Jack Ginnivan will mature as time goes on.
He's one-dimensional, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you
but-
make him go and do things that he can't do,
Yeah.
then he just struggles. Like,
But
in a
that's-
career, he works good on both ends. Ginnivan's only attack and be annoying, and that's it.
Mostly be annoying.
Mostly be annoying. And have shit haircuts, but, we don't talk about that.
No, I'm happy to talk about his shit. Honestly, he has such a punchable face as well. I must admit.
Congratulations to them. Curtin is now pick 6. We never thought that was going to happen 3 weeks
Curtin
ago.
at pick 6.
Yeah, no, I mean, but he's
I
dropped
was
down
about
to
to
pick
say.
6 so far.
Yeah.
So watch out, West Coast. No one's going to jump in front of them, apparently, to go and steal the.
Yeah,
steal
well,
the
we
beauty.
know the Bulldogs aren't trading this because they've done the work for
Yeah,
Croft
they
and
need
stuff,
they need the
so
points before Crofts.
So
Yeah.
this
I'd be
this is
very
easy.
surprised if Sanders doesn't
Yeah.
go. Unless they think that, like, Curtin can play midfield, then maybe. But, yeah, Sanders is going for them. I'm okay with Dersma.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Watson will be up and down.
Kircher.
He'll have up and down games. He won't ever be super coach relevant. But
Who?
think Watson.
Watson,
But
yeah.
think as they're just showing there on the highlights. Tom Papley,
Yeah.
he'll be a bit of an excitement machine. He's going to be getting in players' faces, kick big goals.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
excited.
slowly making, like, every single... Their defense is scary now. Like, it's get another 1 or 2 more years in that defense. It's going to be nasty to play, especially with Sicily there, right? Their midfield is definitely getting there. Now their forward line's getting there. Like, if one of the ruckmen actually shows up to a game, they're going to be harder to beat. Like, he probably gives them 2 or 3 more.
Well, they beat
two or three more
they beat,
goals.
Well, Collingwood in Brisbane this year.
Yeah. Like, that's huge.
And lost to us by 80 points. And lost to us by 80
Yeah,
points.
but that round
Like,
one,
it's so bizarre.
they should have beat us. We came from the clouds to beat them. They had a couple other games like that.
Well, they came from the
should have won.
clouds and beat the Saints.
Yeah. But they against actually good teams who are very competitive this year, if not beating them.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
They smashed Port over there.
they could be anything. They really could be anything, the Hawks. Might not be this year or next year, but it's coming.
Yeah. Zach, It depends on the team for the top draft rookies. I know, for example, a lot of the top draft picks from last year played in round 1 and continued and played really early. So it's very normal for teams that are towards the bottom to get these high draft picks. They're in need of a lot of assistance. They need the best talent to get them up. And so they'll draft these players who in most instances are either ready to go now or they're not contending. So they might as well give these young talent a lot of exposure and experience at the highest level. So it's very normal, actually, for a lot of these players that are being picked up now early to feature round 1, round 2 next year, if they're not injured, of course.
Yeah, I think Joe's right in saying that it is multifaceted, right? You've got a North Melbourne that this year, especially under Clarko, benched a few of the more established players, 2 players Sheasel in the halfback, when an Aaron Hall, who's a much more experienced player, was available, right? But then you also have guys like Ollie Hollands, who went to Carlton, who, you know, this kid can run all day, he fills a need, and then he was game ready, so he played from round 1 and basically played the whole year. So kids will get picked up and they'll be like, cool, 3 or 4 more weeks later, then, you know, maybe they'll play, they need to get their fitness up, but they're still really good.
Sanders has gone at 6 as expected.
Yep. Wonderful.
No surprise there at all. They needed that midfield.
Yeah, and this is the time. So 7, 8 and 9 is when the bids for teams to try and get back into the draft and pick up like that Dan Curtin.
Yeah.
If I was North Melbourne, I'd be like, hey, Melbourne, get on the board. Let's make this happen. Our future pick 1 or future first pick for your pick 7.
But that is huge because I still have the Roos finishing bottom 2 next year.
So
this is the argument because Curtin at one point this year was in that mix for potentially pick 1 or 2.
I reckon
so do you just go it now and try to back yourself that you're going to improve and all in? And for Melbourne, it makes a lot of sense for them.
100%. I'd do it, 100%. No questions asked. I think we're going to beat a couple more teams, even the extra year of development into the player. But it also frees us up to go after a free agent next year because we don't have the restriction of, oh, look, you can try and match us. We can just throw a bunch of money at someone and see what sticks.
It hasn't worked so far, but
we'll see.
We'll see how it goes next year. Zach, also, there was no real chance. There was no other way for the Roos to pick up Jed Frizzy. He wouldn't have worked out. Because he was linked already to the Gold Coast Suns via their academy.
He's locked in.
So he's essentially almost partially owned already by the Gold Coast Suns. It was just up to them whether or not they would just match the bid that North Melbourne offered, and then they would still get him. They can choose when they want to get him at their pick, but he is that good that he got the really early bid, and because they basically already had dibs on him, they just simply matched it and they got it. So there isn't any of that crazy backwards and forwards with the draft system currently.
And that's the big problem as well with the last few years. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, Jamara was there. Last year, 2 years ago, we saw Dacos. Now, Walter is that type of player as well. So within that top 3 or 4, there's always been someone who should be available to those clubs who is that talent but has been locked away. And that's always, it's going to cause a big problem because these teams are on the bottom of the ladder. They should have access to the best player available and they just can't.
And that could be another thing because I know everybody loves the father, son, and loves the academies. Is it a case where, again, like they've done with the NGA, where it's top 40 protected, maybe it's just first round protected or top 20 protected?
Like a player can always get traded and go and play. Later on in their career, they can go play for their dad's club. That's not a big deal. They can go and do that. Players have so much capacity to dictate their contracts.
Clubs or players then start trying to not play as well, for example, they're under 18s,
that's
knowing
their
that
own
they're going to be picked up.
That's their own choice, right?
And
like
the whole draft tampering thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's their choice, right? Like if the player's there and then the player decides that he doesn't want to play well then that just looks bad on the player.
Sanders and McKercher. I keep saying McKercher.
He's had too many ginger beers, I think.
No, but
it's only 2.
Both of them are Tassie boys.
Too many.
Same with Leake.
Yep.
Tassie come in and
Sean Maker as well.
Yep, Sean Maker. 6 years' time.
Yep.
How do you see that potentially playing out?
I see North Melbourne in the next 2 years giving them like a monster 2028 contract and saying, cool, if you want to poach our player, you have to give us multiple firsts. Because I know they've done that with a few others that potentially from there, and I think that's what's going to happen. the AFL's going to have to pay up, and they're going to have to spend big on those first round concessions that they would get for these players. But you still get, like, let's say 2028 he leaves.
Yeah.
That's still like 5 years, worth of playing at the club. Like, it's okay.
I reckon...
It's not like he's going next year.
Yeah. I reckon Melbourne should try and force Gold Coast to match a bid here for Ethan Reid.
Make the trade. It won't happen because it says pick.
Pick is in. So this has got to be...
if this is Windsor. Come on.
I would have loved for them to have forced Gold Coast to match a slightly earlier bid.
Who is it? Is it Windsor?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Cal Toomey is what? 7 for 7 already.
He almost got 100% last year.
Yeah. But it comes nearly obvious by
10.
that top 10, unless somebody throws a real curveball.
GWS is probably going to give up way too much for West Coast's pick next year, and I'm not happy. People are saying, like, their first round next year, swap with GWS, swap with West Coast, and then they'll give them their pick. Mate, it's too expensive.
Come on, Bombers, make a move. Trade our future first to get Windsor. To get freaking Curtin.
Fox Footy's giving him the bolter. They had him 15th on their rankings.
Really? 15? Gee, Fox there.
But that's not surprising because I had, like, on my rankings, and that's what Cal Toomey said. This is how the order goes, but on your actual rankings,
it might be high.
So I had him about 12.
Yeah.
But then it's that scope. Like Melbourne, they can't trade back because of the Giants. People said if he was there, they're taking him. But that's the play they wanted.
Yeah.
But then for them, for example, because they got to have players move, maybe Caddy and O'Sullivan they don't need for starters. And maybe they feel like they could be more homesick than where, say, a Windsor was probably going to be more suited to travel wherever.
So what type of player is he?
Midfielder.
Midfielder, okay. Someone that Melbourne actually need? Because they don't need a lot of midfielders.
They don't really need...
They do, I think.
I'd rather have... If I was Melbourne, I'd be picking up a key forward. I know Dersma's gone.
Got Van Rooyen.
But their forward line has been terrible.
He's more like your outside winger kind of type. He's got a lot of speed, so he can play with.
So Hunt and Hunter have all gone now.
Well, they got Hunter and Langdon.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Hunter.
Yeah, so they actually have them, but then Hunter is obviously aging that little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's probably the thinking there.
Yeah.
Where and that's the thing, he can come in and develop, and then when Hunter's gets moved on or moved into a different position, then Windsor can sort of play that.
And James Jordan could pinch hit on the wing as well.
Yeah, well, James Jordan now that he's gone, so Windsor probably does feel, as we were talking earlier,
James Jordan also does forward too.
Yeah, feel a need this year.
Yeah.
Where Jordan for a lot of the time was a sub, so that wouldn't surprise me if Windsor gets some sub action this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. He'd be a great sub, to be honest.
Come on, North Melbourne. Make the phone call. What are you doing? Do it. I know it's not going to happen, but do it.
Non-draft inquiry. But I know that people like questioning where Team 20 will be. But is everyone absolutely sure that Tassie will get that stadium deal in place to play on time?
It's a worry. It is a worry. You would hope.
Oh, trade is in?
Yeah, we'll come back to that because it's a great question.
This is a big one.
So Adelaide. 8 and 17 GWS gave up. And then Adelaide's given up their 11, 15, and then the round 2 from next year. So I reckon Adelaide's got it made. Like that's too good for them.
That's a big jump in.
Yeah. They won't pick up Curtin. I don't think so. But
and that's the thing. The Giants have only swept back to 11, which is probably Leaker or Sutherland anyway.
Correct.
So it's not bad for them.
You know what I've noticed though is that they've kept the clock going. They haven't reset it back to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I wonder if that's someone's done a bit of a dodgy and they haven't.
No, unless
updated
that is part of the thing. I don't know. Do they get to reset if you're on?
I assume so.
Well, I don't know if you do.
Maybe it's 2 minutes. Maybe it resets in 2 minutes.
No, I don't think it does. I think that's
so.
just
What happens
time.
if you go in and like, cool, 30 seconds left, let's trade or pass?
Well, then you don't leave it till that late.
Like it happens.
Unless it just is the...
I think
but
GWS got fleeced a bit here.
Because, no, both of them... Yeah, but they've only moved back the 3 spot. They're going to get the player they wanted anyway.
Potentially.
How have GWS got fleeced?
Because
they don't need anything right now.
Could definitely... They would have potentially got better... But GWS might have thought, well, we still want Leap. So they're going to get the player they want.
Maybe it ends up being a free round 2 next year. Who knows?
It's going to be a deep draft next year.
Because it's 8-17 for 11-15, and then they've thrown in the second rounder. So clearly the Giants might even want somebody around that 15 mark, which is ahead of Adelaide.
They might not.
But that 11 player, I would. So this should be Curtin, but if it's O'Sullivan, then that's even. They must have been worried that the Cats or the Bombers or somebody else was going to take him, but you would expect this to be Curtin.
To me, it makes sense that the Giants would do this because you'd rather have. There's no one screaming out to them that they want to pick up at pick 8.
Well, they know.
They'd rather get 2 decent players at 11 and 15, one of which they're confident in Leak will be there at 11.
So that's what was up, because we knew the Giants would have been thinking that Curtin's probably a flight risk. For Adelaide, it's not really. Like the difference, but like South Australia, still it's a. It's not.
Oh, they picked him.
They did take Curtin, yeah.
Hey.
So the South Australia.
GW.
It's smart.
And it makes sense for the Coast because we just said about losing Dode. They actually need a key back.
Correct.
So we were talking about them getting up for a Sutherland.
Yep.
But now they get Curtin
Gold Coast.
instead.
Sorry, not Gold Coast. GW. No, I'm not on it today.
He's had one ginger beer, and this is what happens to him. Not even one. This is North Melbourne.
I'm too excited. This is Christmas, Joe.
So that's the perfect pick for the Crows.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's just interesting.
Curtin's
And maybe
done
the
it.
other clubs didn't offer as much as they.
But maybe even like O'Sullivan or another keep back ends up at their second pick,
because maybe,
and then they can play Curtin.
Well,
through
maybe
the middle.
if West Coast didn't offer their future first, and then as I said, the Giants now.
West Coast probably asked for too much back.
So this is.
He'll be fantastic for them.
Oh, great!
So we have a lot of defensive depth now at our club, which is probably why we didn't go ahead and make
Caddy's
that
yours.
trade.
Caddy's your player.
Yeah, I think Caddy's
Unless
the one that we
Geelong.
want.
Yeah.
So this is the
Unless-
difference now. Does Geelong, because there was thoughts that they would potentially leak as well, but if it's maybe they didn't want a Sutherland, so if they take Caddy,
Cal Twomey's not happy because his draft board's all messed up now.
It's O'Sullivan, not O'Sullivan.
or Sutherland.
No, the L before the V.
Oh, the L before the V.
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Okay, Sullivan.
There we
Sullivan.
go.
Is that right? Cool.
That's
Sullivan.
Yeah, okay.
Just looking out for you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Anytime. Gee, Cal Toomey's in chuck it in.
Yeah, he's not happy.
He was so good last year. I think he got like to the 20s without dropping a single one.
Yeah, I know.
And here he is, top 10. All this hard work that he does, all of these phantom drafts.
So who did he have at 8?
It's a good question.
I think O'Sullivan.
He had O'Sullivan at 8, did he?
Yeah, I think so.
I had Curtin, but I had him going to West Coast.
But that's
yes.
the tricky thing, is it really puts a lot of pressure on West Coast now. Because I saw a
So
lot
I'm
of draft
I'm
boards
still on for
coming.
the 10.
No, he had Leak at 8.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still on for the 10. Get around me.
Because
because I'm going to claim it. Even though I've got the wrong club, I still said Curtin's going at 8.
Yeah, that's fine.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Doesn't matter where he's going.
That's
The
right.
most important thing
He
is the
went.
player and the number.
That's it.
Yeah. No, you're still on. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still on for the 10.
So who did I have at 9? Oh, Reed. Match bid.
Yes, correct. Geelong's
probably.
match bid.
Can't Geelong, don't let me down.
I reckon they're
Put the
on,
bid in.
I reckon Geelong's like, hey, who wants our pick? Go at it.
Because he had Cal had Geelong picking up Curtin at pick 10.
He did, yeah.
So now that Curtin's gone, you would imagine they'd go for Sullivan, perhaps?
I think...
Or will you reckon
I
they'd
think
go for Caddy
I think they could go Caddy here.
to go another forward
Yeah.
because Tomahawk isn't
But no,
spring
they've got
chicken?
to... I don't care. They've got to bid for Reed first, so I'm 9 from 9.
Yes, correct.
Yes. And
Well,
then
it's taking them a while to choose, so we'll see.
well, they might be thinking about this and then put the bid in.
Well, regardless, I don't mind if we pick up
I do.
Sullivan
Yeah.
or
I think
Caddy.
Caddy's the
but
much
I
better
definitely
pick for
much
you.
prefer Caddy.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think he's a much better pick.
for sure. He fills needs as well, fits into the type of game that we want to have.
Caddy's
so,
probably more of an issue than... I think it's more important for you, but...
yes, I agree. But if the Cats take him,
So be it.
so
Oh,
be
here's
it.
another one. Oh, no, this is the one from before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're talking about the trade recap
Yeah.
on your one.
Yeah.
We're here, we're just watching Geelong. Just have a chat.
So does that mean Adelaide still has pick 10? Did Adelaide? No.
No,
The pick 10 is 11. Yeah.
yeah, so
Cool. Yeah.
they gave that up to the Giants. Who
I
the Giants?
getcha.
So the Giants will take Leak there if he doesn't go.
Most
this
likely,
pick.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
He could go at
if
10.
Leak goes now, then it'll be interesting to see what the Giants do. But
Oh, pick is in for the 9 for,
also it's picking, so they haven't.
but they could still put
They
in
can bid.
the bid
Yeah.
for that 9 pick.
Yes, 9 from 9.
They did the bid.
Yep. Ethan Reed.
Ethan Reed.
All right.
So they'll match this.
Now I'm nervous.
34, 38, and 40
So dumb.
for a pick 9 pick.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the points need to be a bit changed because that's just silly. Cool, pick 40 equals pick 9 now. Yeah.
Well, there's also
plus 20%.
34 and 38.
Plus 20%. I would be okay if they came in and said no more NGA 20%. You can still match the bid. You can still match the bid, but no more father son. Okay.
Yeah.
But no more matching the bid. Like sorry, no more
20%.
discount.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. I think
that's common sense.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, that should happen. Ethan Reed.
He's going to be fantastic.
What does he play? What makes him so fantastic?
Ruck forward that is pretty mobile. And it's kind of what they need because Witts isn't getting that much older. And they need, isn't getting much younger, and they really need that kind of depth in that position. Well, that's it. Like, Witts retires, Moyle takes number 1.
Yep.
Reed can come in and take number 2, or at least play for a little while and then take number 2 at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, really exciting there for the Gold Coast Suns. Zach, you should be very happy with how your boys are doing today.
Yep.
It is all, of course, mostly as predicted, because everybody knew that you were going to be matching bids on these players.
Swiz predicted it, so...
Oh, of course, Swiz is our... I almost called you Fizz. Swiz is our resident draft expert, followed by you, Jez.
I would have been up there. I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, if North trades up now, it's probably a worse pick. Anything in like the top 6 to 8, I'm like, okay. But if we spend our future first now on like pick 10.
Well, what happens if you trade up to get Caddy, who is who is going to play in your forward line round 1?
I think O'Sullivan will probably be the pick to do it. I think he would be the one because we're desperate for key defenders. So he might be the pick, but Dersma's a bit of a special breed. I think Caddy's too far down the line in that forward line. We've got too many good forwards now, especially with Braden George coming, that Dersma probably takes a spot, but Caddy won't.
I just had that. West Coast did try to put in a trade for Curtin, but obviously they went with Adelaide's.
Yep, because they probably wanted a lot of bits back. That was the rumour that West Coast wanted GWS's pick from next year as well as part of the deal, and it's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Sorry, mate. You got to give us the pick or nothing.
Look, you lose 100. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Oh, of course.
So you gotta at least try to ask. But
well, it's not like North Melbourne trying to trade up for pick 1. I mean, we bid 4 times and we didn't get it, so too bad for you.
I really don't want the Cats to take Caddy.
Probably will. But the thing is, though, do they need Caddy? They've got Ollie Henry coming through as well.
This is where I put for pick 10 Adelaide via trade with Geelong for O'Sullivan. I said that
Please be O'Sullivan. Yes, you did that right. Yes, well done. I really hope they pick O'Sullivan.
Yeah. And then I would have gone Caddy next to the Bombers. So we'll see how that plays out. But
unless we try to trade up to this.
But Geelong aren't going to trade out.
But Geelong aren't going to trade out, correct.
For the player that they might take if it's going to be that player. Unless they weren't going to take Caddy.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think the possibility is really real that they take Caddy.
Most
I don't
likely.
know. I don't think Ollie. I don't think Ollie Henry.
I think they'll pick up some utility player. They won't pick up Caddy. I don't think they will.
Jezza Cameron isn't a baby anymore.
Oh no, we do. Essendon have traded up. Essendon did trade up to 10. So you've got Geelong get pick 11 and 31, and Essendon get pick 10.
Yeah, we were really worried they were going to pick up Caddy, weren't we? I think.
So maybe Geelong didn't actually want Caddy.
It looks like they
but
didn't
Essendon's
want it.
offered it just in case to see.
Just in case.
Imagine and then you don't take Caddy.
That would be hell. Oh. Classic Dodo.
Mucking up my top 10 here.
Classic Dodo is only going to take one
Bloody
pick in the draft
Essendon.
now.
Classic Dodo coming again,
top 10.
dropping a bomb on us and then leaving in a rush.
He's only going to take one pick in the draft now. That's it.
I was confident Geelong would trade, but bloody Essendon going to ruin my trade.
It's all right. You could still...
No. Well, you could. Just take the right player here.
Don't talk to me. I want us to pick the right player as well. Come on.
Actually, then the...
Pick is in.
Is it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Caddy. It's got to be Caddy.
It's got to be. Surely.
There's Brad. Brad's like, I've got the next
yes,
Ben Brown.
it's Caddy. I'm getting Essendon player supporters messaging me, yes.
Great success. I'm very happy about this.
I'm happy for you, Trey.
I'm very happy about this.
Happy. You've actually got a forward line now. I'm happy for you.
Yes.
No excuses. You're making finals next year.
Yes. Mate, I was already confident before this. It's happening. Caddy, come along, my boy. Let's go. I'm very happy about this. If you could tell. Can't stop smiling. This is very good. This is very good. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Oi, oi, oi.
Zach, easiest schedule, premiership coach, an underrated star-studded roster, 3 new picks. The Sunnies are making finals this year. Let's go. 2 birds, 1 stone, and go for the grand final. Well, that's everyone's aim, Zach. But whether it happens or not, different story. But we've got our man.
Does he end up being the better player than Dersma?
Who?
Caddy?
And which Dersma?
Then the one that North Zane.
I reckon.
You reckon?
I reckon him at 10 is very good.
Yeah, of course.
I think he's the second best key forward in this draft.
Outside of who?
Walter.
Aye, fair enough.
Like,
we just need Dersma to grow like 5 more centimetres, then we'll be right.
Because like key forwards, you know, key position players, you manage to sneak him in at 10. I think it's
Essendon
really good.
Essendon just wanted a top 10 pick.
Mate, we didn't want this North Melbourne compensation thing to push us out of the top 10.
It's because, they put up all these boards for the future.
Yeah.
Essendon will be there in that top 10 just to make sure your name's there.
Mate, it's all about us, mate. It's all about the dodo. I'm very happy about this. This guy, he went toe-to-toe with Harley Reid in terms of goals kicked when his team actually beat Harley Reid's team during the year. And he had 5 goals and 24 disposals in that game. So he was insanely good, very athletic, great at ground level. He won a lot of agility. He was top 5 in agility. I think he won as well a couple of categories as well. He speaks very well. He just is a perfect fit for us. And I don't mind giving up pick 31 if it means cementing it, because it was really real. That's what I was worried about when we were talking about it here.
Geelong
that Geelong could have very easily have got him. Very easily. So I'd imagine that the Cats would be going for O'Sullivan now.
Well, you potentially, unless they're still going to they'll take Leake.
Unless they take Leake.
Yeah.
Who's that utility player?
Either way.
Forward, back.
Yeah, it's going to go. But I think, that's what I was saying earlier about Geelong. Potentially, he was going to be the guy that goes there. But bloody trade. I had the top 10 in order.
You hate the Bombers so much. I love it.
But no, you're right. He's a good fit. And then it's a massive year now.
Yeah.
For your likes of Harrison Jones.
Oh,
they're all gone.
Immense.
Well, what's he signed for another year?
He's on 1 year. This is his year.
You're thinking
Scrub Weedman.
Caddy gets a year to develop. Well, it's pretty well. I'd say Caddy gets a year to develop.
Yeah.
Wiedemann and Jones, you're playing for your career.
Yeah. We had Jaden Hunter, who was injury affected. He got a 1-year deal. So Jaden Hunter and Harry Jones were both like fighting for being in that forward line. Now we've also added Caddy, who is really close to just playing round 1 as well. So
I'd say Caddy just you'd be playing him in the VFL to start off with, and you're letting those other two fight it out.
Yeah.
But it might be they wouldn't want to have too many bad games in a row.
No, they wouldn't. They just need to stay fit and healthy as well, which has been a regular problem for us, being unable to keep. I mean, even Sardis couldn't start last year because he got injured just before the start of the season, and he came in the back half of the year and did really well. I like what I saw from him. So we've got talent on the side, good young talent. We just need it to stay healthy and on the park.
I reckon it's going to be Darcy Wilson.
Darcy Wilson?
Yeah. That's my pick.
That's your pick.
Yeah. Probably won't be, but that's my pick. They've got too many tools already.
They do have a lot of tools.
Maybe O'Sullivan comes in. He'd be perfect for them.
And he's got great leadership, and the Cats love leadership.
Well, just like Radical left.
Yeah, it
and
is.
they need someone to cover the position.
It is Connor O'Sullivan.
Yeah, there you go.
Sullivan, good man. Good
We
man.
got there. So that means Legs going to the Giants.
So
for
the Giants still get their guy.
sure.
Yeah, so they've traded back and
To get
got
the
a
player.
future pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, this was a great
And the
great
Giants'
move.
second pick is before the Adelaide pick now,
Exactly.
which is also in the first round.
Yeah, before North Melbourne's pick too.
Yeah.
So this was a bigger win
For the Giants.
between those two teams and between Essendon and Geelong. Like Geelong moved back one spot, got pick 31.
It depends.
But these guys,
It depends on who you want.
Yeah.
As your player. Like, if you weren't identifying guys who aren't top 10 picks, then GWS has done fantastic because a guy's been available, that's it. Whereas you guys were desperate for caddy.
we were.
Yes.
Who was
and
top
that's,
10?
And that's the difference as we've talked about. The Giants, it's not as much sometimes the talent, but it's that longevity of the club.
Mm-hmm.
So they go through and Leaks Tasmanian, so he's moving anyway.
Yeah.
So
And I think also GWS probably want those guys who can play roles versus just being a genuine all-around type player. Like, they want, hey, look, if you can run off halfback, you're perfect for us.
they don't need caddy because they've got
No.
Cadman, Riccardi,
And Hogan, and probably someone else coming through as well. So it doesn't matter as much for them. Paul Riley Sanders.
Is the Gold Coast Academy the only one producing these draft picks? Where are the rest of the players
this year it is.
in this class
This year.
coming from?
It
The
wrote-
Sunnies
yeah.
Academy may be the only thing keeping the club afloat. Zach, everyone has, does everyone? Everyone has an academy, just about.
Yes, so everyone has an academy. Every club should have a next generation academy, which is like the Australian map has been divided up and every region has a club that looks after that region. It's only because Gold Coast has direct access to those players. Last year, they didn't even have to match bids. They just got access straight away. So this year, they've actually come in and said, cool, we have to match the bids, which is, even things up a tiny bit, but not really that much. So, like, West Coast have a lot of players through their NGA. Freo have a lot of players through their NGA, but they can only match with pick 40 or above. They can't match at, like, pick 2.
Ever since Jamara went.
Yeah, ever since
all those
Jamara
rules
came
changed.
to the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs made finals. I don't think there was grand final, but they definitely made deep into the finals. And then in that year's draft, they got pick 1 because he was attached to an
What I
academy,
want to
and
know
that was it.
how it actually works, and especially from the women's point of view, because there's a girl I coached in cricket who has swapped NGA academies. So she was at St Kilda and is now at Collingwood. I was like, I didn't know they could do that.
Maybe she moved house.
I know she did. I know she didn't move house. It was just so it was very
Did
interesting.
she change cricket clubs or something? Did she change clubs?
Yeah, well, she's because she had the St Kilda last year, and then I saw her running around in the black and white this year for Collingwood.
Maybe
So,
maybe like they redrew the lines. Or
maybe
something?
they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who did GW? So GWS probably pick up like a leak or someone.
Yeah, it's got to be
who can
league.
play.
I'd be surprised if it isn't, but
They haven't filled the Jeremy Finlayson role since he left, so maybe a
That
league or
makes
someone
sense.
kind of takes that position for them.
Yeah. So to answer that question in short form, Zach, everyone has an academy, but only the Suns have this ability
Direct
to
access.
have direct access
Oh,
to
and
no, not the Suns, the northern clubs. So
northern clubs.
Gold Coast,
Brisbane as well.
Sydney,
And GWS.
Because we've seen in the past where Sydney's taken, your Isaac Heaney's.
Yes.
Was it Mills as well, part of that?
Yes.
Errol
Errol Goulden.
And Braden
So,
Campbell
so
as
this
well.
all goes in like waves. So that year, Sydney had, within 2 years, had all this talent.
Yeah.
Gold Coast at the moment, Brisbane's been more looked after father and son, but they've had a couple. It seems to go in waves with these things.
It comes and goes in waves.
So this pick 12 is really pick 10.
Yes.
Carries
cool.
us away.
So North Melbourne has a pick in 5 picks. That's what I'm just looking at. Like, how much longer does my team play again?
And that's how we, and then you add in all North Melbourne's compensation picks and you name it, how
And
we go from
Jade Gresham
the first
somehow
round,
getting an end of
the
first
first
round.
round should go 18 picks, but already with the 2 academies, that's 20. We'll get a father and son soon.
Yeah.
21, and we just keep pushing
I reckon
back.
Croft comes now, and GWS is trying to get someone to bid on trying to give him say, hey. That's what I reckon.
Potentially.
Because they've been waiting a long time.
Because they don't even need league.
Oh, no. Who did they pick?
That's the thing.
Oh, what? Who is that?
Phoenix Gothard.
Phoenix Gothard.
I think he's a small forward.
Ranked 30th in the Fox Footy boards.
As a general forward.
General forward.
The bolter.
The massive bolter.
Wow.
That
There you
is
go.
bizarre.
He'd be very, very happy.
Oh, the kid's wrapped.
Well, there's no...
course.
well, if they had their eyes on this kid, there is no... It just explains their willingness to slide
course.
back so much. They could have slid back even further to get more out of... Just...
Yeah, they probably could.
because I don't know how many other clubs were thinking or looking at this
I
kid.
wouldn't be surprised if Sydney or St Kilda, like if they didn't call them up during that 5 minutes and say, "Hey, do you want our pick? Give us some compensation for
Well,
it."
small forward pressure. Small forward.
Yeah.
Forward craft, clean
So he's
pressure.
going to be fantastic with Toby Bedford. This kid is going to be.
Well,
great.
that's how they play.
Look
Yeah,
how
so
small he is.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, Nick Watson 2.0.
Well, who just retired from them? Was it Daniel Lloyd or Brett Daniels?
No, Brett
Oh,
Daniels is still
Brett
playing.
Daniels
playing,
still
so it was a
playing.
Daniel Lloyd.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
So that means he comes in and plays that.
Does it say
small
179?
Well, they got Bedford. They
So
got
it's not
they
He's not
got
that small. He's only a tit smaller than
they
me.
got King Tobias.
He's
Yeah,
a-
Yeah, that's our producer Dave. He's 179. I'm 180, 181.
but you're a,
Whatever
tall,
six foot
you're a
is.
tall 179, Dave. You're a tall
Yeah, that's
179.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's a thick
he's about my
179.
height.
I'm going to make your girlfriend jealous here. Mate. So this is a really interesting selection.
They're loving life. Like they are pumped.
He
so
is...
a lot of energy coming
This
out
is
here.
more than the Pepsi Max King. This is this going...
He was a promising cricketer, and he also is from that Riverina area.
Yeah, I love Riverina. Same with me too.
a promising cricketer.
Yeah.
I know you. You love your cricket. Mate, this was...
Melbourne just go bang straight away.
Probably. Well, they know who they want. They've known who they want.
Don't need
forever.
to drag out their 5 minutes for the sponsors.
They might have got the trade
Unlike
already
North
fixed
Melbourne.
up. They might have got the trade worked out already.
And with their
And
selection...
they've taken that, was it Colton
Oh, North Melbourne's got a few picks around their position.
Stroll.
He's the one with the crappy hair. There
Colton
you go.
Tholstrup.
With the big mullet.
Yeah.
He looks like he should play for Richmond.
Richmond, nah, that's more of a South Australian dude.
This looks like a Ben Brown mixed with a
Mate,
Dusty
nah.
Martin.
It's
That's
Riley Collier Dawkins.
That's-
or whatever
nah,
his name
mate,
is with
that's
the
a-
big hair.
he just-
Who's your player with the big hair?
He just says South Australian.
Nah. I think he is South Australian though.
Wow.
Just proves that they're like 10 years behind our times.
Plays like Dylan Moore from the Hawks.
All right, fair enough.
Dylan Moore coming in at pick 13. I don't know about that.
So Melbourne's kind of gone the half forward flanker and then the winger. Or the winger, then the half forward flanker.
I think they've desperately needed attack, so it fits in with kind of what they're looking for.
I think they've noticed that
Especially
they
James
like
Jordan
it.
not being here.
Yeah, James Jordan not there. I think they also liked having Cozzy Pickett be involved in the play higher up the ground. And then what ended up happening was their genuine goal-kicking threats substantially reduced when Cozzy Pickett went out of that forward line to play in the midfield.
Yep.
All of a sudden, they were extremely reliant on individual brilliance from Bailey Fritsch, from
Spargo
Joel Smith, who played the game of his life in that final, and then
Joel
went and started
Smith.
sniffing.
Joel Smith.
Yeah.
Caleb Windsor kicked a goal a game in his last 8 matches. So, as you're saying, scoreboard impact there. So
Yeah.
you've got a couple of guys there who are going to put some speed around that ball, but it was also going to have to hit that scoreboard.
At least
Yeah.
the guy doesn't play like Kane Turner.
Because Clayton Oliver, as amazing of a midfielder, Clayton Oliver, I don't think has hit the scoreboard as much as he probably could. Petrarca does play some forward time, but outside of that, they've had their biggest issues has been kicking goals. They've been great defensively. We know that. That is
So
Melbourne's bread and butter. But forward of centre is where they've struggled. So now they've added 2 extra goal kicking.
So the Swans
players.
have bidded on the other Gold Coast player, which is Jake Rogers,
So no one's
the
bidded on
midfielder.
Croft.
So this is costing them. This is costing the Suns bugger all because of that discount.
42,
47,
47,
49.
Well, that's all they've got
And-
left.
And
Everything
but they
else
get
is
65
gone.
back. So
Yeah,
I know.
that's all they've got left.
But that's costing like that's They've done the work.
Yeah.
Cost them nothing.
They knew before the draft what 4 players they were going to have.
Correct.
It was Graham, Rogers, Reed, and Walter, and that was it.
Yep.
Their team's just
Works
done.
for them.
Exactly. So all their work has been to get the picks in, to match all these bids. They're laughing. Nothing surprising. They weren't going to pick anyone better with these picks anyway. So
Yeah, no, that's true.
it just makes sense. So well done, the Swans, sort of
Yeah, I don't mind
making
that
them
Adelaide.
use picks.
I don't mind the Daniel Curtin Adelaide. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
all
makes
right.
sense.
Especially Dode's gone. Like, they've got McCabe coming in, but it's still not. Yeah, it's not the same.
Michelini, still young.
Michelini, yeah.
Will develop into something really good. He's shown some glimpses this year.
He's already gone good.
Yeah, so he's already shown some great glimpses.
Adelaide love defenders, man.
Well, as they should. They might even have to try Phil Thorpe in the back line at some point.
No.
If he continues to not take that next step as
He's
a
gonna
good
get traded
forward,
at some point.
yeah, I'm saying they might even trial him in the back line as maybe like as an extra key defender if they're really struggling. Sort of prop him up as a swingman type of player to increase his draft value his trade value. Because right now he hasn't done anything in his career apart from that one goal that he kicked over his head up in Kazali Stadium to beat the Saints. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing he's done.
Highlight reel. That's it.
It's just a highlight clip, not a reel.
Doesn't matter.
It's just a clip.
It's just very short.
He just kicked it over his head. And apart from that, he's dead set done nothing in his career.
Yeah,
so he
he's
needs to
definitely
do
gone
something.
stagnated. He's fallen off.
He needs to do something.
Swiz, how does it feel not to have any picks in the first round?
Oh, it feels good, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry?
Nah, no
You're happy
stress.
with spending a first rounder on Hopper 1 year later?
That's all right.
Yeah? Played 6 games for you, did all right?
You do all right.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah, Zach, a
could've
bolter.
been your pick
Yeah,
at
a
pick
bolter
17.
is a surprising pick. So a bolter is someone who has essentially
Jumped up the draft
done a
board.
bolter in terms of the like in horse
Done a Noah.
horse racing vernacular in terms of they've just bolted out of the blocks. They've surprised everyone and they've come out ahead.
Yep.
A lot quicker than people anticipated. So this guy, no one's had him on their radars, and all of a sudden he's finished this high, just outside the top 10. It's a bolter. He's surprised everyone, and it is sort of similar to what you would call a reach in American football. But I think the word bolter is a lot more fun than a reach.
I love that. I love that on draft
Really?
day and yelling out to your mates. Somebody goes, pick one. I'm taking Nick Dacos. Reach!
Phoenix
great.
Gothard is going to be like Errol Goulden, isn't he? Tiny little balls of explosive energy.
Probably.
That just leaves you crumbling into a heap and begging the heavens to tell you why
Yep.
they did this.
Yeah. So Sydney, I think, is trying to do a
I like
deal with
that.
North Melbourne at the moment. That's what was speculated. But
Yes, that was speculated.
I really don't want it to happen because we're going to have to give up. I want our
give up
3
the
picks.
world.
I want our picks.
Give
I don't
up the
care about
world.
Getting like flop whoever.
yeah, the
It's
world.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I hate it. Yeah, we'll see. See what happens.
No, we'll not see. Give
We
up
will.
the
We'll-
world.
we'll see in 2
Give
minutes.
up all those picks.
Mate.
Typical North Melbourne. Spend years and months
that's
begging
right.
for picks,
Yeah.
only to
It's
end
just
up
a throwing-
stuffing it up.
Throwing it away.
Yep. That's us.
It's so
Done.
right. I don't know. I think Clarko knows what he's doing.
I hope so. But Leak's still available, and that's the only one. Leak would be the one that North Melbourne are like, hey, we want you. We've scouted you out. Here's pick 17 and 18. Try and make it happen.
Another Tassie boy, mate.
Mate, we'll just pick half the Tassie
Yeah.
team.
Well, the
And
thing
then-
is, they play games in Tasmania.
Well, they're making it easy for the
they all-
AFL
they all
just to
know each
go,
other.
down you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. We'll give
Have
you,
a second Tasmanian
We'll
team.
take Sanders off the Bulldogs, but we'll just send you back down there anyway. That's it.
Well, you're how many games do you play in Tassie already?
This year we have 4 as part of we've sold games to Tassie.
Yep.
And then we're playing an extra game in Tassie because we're playing Hawthorn in Tassie and it's their home game.
That's how it should be, actually. You and Hawthorn should play home and away against each other.
The Tassie Cup.
Tassie Cup, yeah.
I actually find it so funny how
It's the Clarko
That
Cup.
was the question we had before about how confident are we?
correct. That's right. Zach was asking us about.
I still think
it should go
it
ahead.
should. But
Yeah.
there's no should, could, would, sort of, these sort of thing when politicians get
Team
involved.
19 will be in
So-
Tassie. Team 20 is probably going to be WA. That's my pick.
Yeah, like
A third WA
I would
team. Yeah.
like the territory, but then they're going to
They
have
can't facilitate it.
That's
Oh.
there is pros and cons. if it's like you, and we're not going to have the whole political debate, yes, no campaign, all that. But if you really wanted to support Indigenous, as well as making sure every state in Australia had a team. Yeah, okay, ACT sort
It's
of
not
had one.
they're not states, they're territories.
Yeah, well, state territory, you know what I mean. But and then I guess you have to go the 21st and 22nd, so New Zealand are covered. But in all seriousness, no, that would be what they would technically do. We've got no.
How about Christmas Island?
Christmas Island.
The problem is,
Well, do you see that actually? Did you see that in the French, like the French show? You know how they have like the FA Cup and the English League and stuff like that. And this is one for our producer over there who will give us probably a nod, where you've got teams and they're from Premier League down, and there's the different rounds and they all play each other, and then there's the qualifying.
Are they going to bid on Croft? So it goes
Potentially.
an extra 5 minutes.
Yes, I can see this one's doing
North
this.
Melbourne's trading up, but I'm not happy.
I hate it. The French league, their version of their FA Cup, involves some of their other French countries. So there's one like in Polynesia or something.
So Africa.
One team had to make the 14,000 trip
Oh
to play
God!
this little French island team, which is based around the corner from Australia.
That's actually unbelievable.
It's awesome.
That is unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Here we go.
Get ready to learn Chinese, boys.
We'll see. My problem with NT is the fact that they don't have enough talent coming out of there that giving them a team, I don't think.
But I think it could potentially unleash more talent because
Correct.
and then you don't have that go home factor for a lot of the Indigenous boys up there.
Yeah, there you go, Croft.
Bid pending,
Croft.
And then they of course they match it.
Yeah, Bulldogs
the Dogs
match.
don't care.
It's classic Sydney to be building on these
No,
players.
they've got bids in the background. They're trying to work out North Melbourne's all this stuff happening because it was reported, and North Melbourne's going to sell the farm for some rando player. Well,
That's it. Realistically, the only one that is leaked that seems to be the slider so far.
Because Leak has leaked this much.
Well,
so
someone
far.
had to. We had 3 or 4 players around that pick 8 mark. That it naturally just goes 8, 9, 10, 11.
What happens with all these Bulldogs? We know there's talk that Sydney are going to offer the world for Jamara.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
How are they going to?
They won't.
How are they going to play all these guys? Norton, Croft,
They won't.
Jamara.
They just
who
take
else
them. They load up on them, and then they say, "Cool, you want our guy? Cool, 3 first rounders done. You want our guy? The next one."
I think they know they're not. I think they know they're not going to be able to hold on to everyone, which is why they're going to continue to hold on to
Well, you
these
don't
types
think
of.
Croft and Darcy aren't going anywhere because they're father son, so
Correct.
they'll stick around. Norton's just signed that ridiculous.
That
lot.
was
So they know.
that's
they know.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
Jamara's going to get them 2 or 3 first rounders from Sydney. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
I can
gonna
see,
happen.
yeah,
It's
the
just
world there.
making draft capital.
North Melbourne is the AFL equivalent of having the kink of being constantly left with blue balls. Lol. Sorry if your broadcast isn't PG-13.
No,
It's
that's
all
good.
good, Zach.
We're all good.
We're all good.
We don't
here.
care.
This is unsanitized.
It's
Proper,
like the
footy
Jets.
chats here.
Anybody
It's like the
seen me on?
Jets.
And I get people message me all the time about Supercoach Insiders because I have the habit of going, F this, F that, you name it. And there was one guy's like, yeah, I have to now listen to your podcast with my earphones in because my granddaughter walks past and just hears Swiz swearing all the time. I'm like, love it, mate. I'm like, apologies.
Yeah.
But I was like, and mine's not PG. Oh, I do what I want.
Yeah, exactly. I say what I want as well, and then to get told later, you were very loose today. I'm like,
loose.
wait, was I really? What was I saying?
Well, that's just me on it.
It's just me on a regular basis, mate. Oh, mate, this is
I just noticed the footy as well. Shout out to our mate Rowan, who went
Love you,
beyond,
Rowan.
beyond.
He was a hero that grand final day.
He was.
He almost died getting the ball out of the tree.
Died getting that footy back. That was amazing.
It was amazing. His head was dead set
tell us-
that far away from the curve.
Tell us the story of the football Joe, for those that don't know.
I kicked this football. I was invited to a lovely barbecue on grand final day to watch the grand final. Hope for the Brisbane Lions to get the dub, but alas, they don't. During halftime break, we decided to step outside and kick my lovely football that is absolutely ripped to shreds. It should not be played on gravel or on concrete. This is strictly for grass, but.
There's one tree in the entire suburb of Cranbourne, and Joe managed to kick it into it.
Now, the wind was ridiculous. It was gale force.
It was a 9-goal wind going across the schoolyard. But Joe found the one tree in that school, and my mate, not being the mate he is, like, well, I'll get it down. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, actually.
Joe, the shock on Joe's face, I'll never forget that. When me and the boys were just laughing at him as he's,
They were laughing at
Joe's
him.
like, oh, we need to call the whole every
I thought he
ambulance in
almost
Victoria.
died.
He probably did.
I was very scared for him.
But then what happened? That breeze restarted his heart, and then up he got. And,
correct. It was an act of God. It was a miracle. Thank you so much.
All we've got at the moment is Croft still talking.
Correct.
Because Sydney's still on the clock.
Sydney are doing
Sydney are
their
going to bid on
thing.
Graham again. They're going to be next one's up Graham, just so they can get rid of all the bids and be on the clock. So you think North Melbourne's bad? Sydney won't even pick a player.
Sydney are notorious. Big Tommy, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been a while. Don't like the current father, son, and NGA system.
Yep.
Needs to be refined better and harder to draft.
See, I don't mind. What we were talking about before was just get rid of the 20%. You can still have access if you must, and this make it open to all the teams, but you have to be able to match it with actual picks instead of 20% off. Because then you don't get pick 9 worthing like pick 37 and 42 for pick 9. Like, there's no way the team will trade those two for pick 9. It's not really worth it, but yeah, that'd probably be the best way to do it.
Just get rid of the whole thing. How good would it have been Nick Dacos playing for Tassie or something
For North
like that?
Melbourne.
North Melbourne.
Nope.
The North Tassie, mate.
We could have had Nick Dacos and Sheasel. Imagine that.
That would have been insane.
No, we could. No.
So,
the year
no, that's the
after?
year
No.
before.
Yeah.
No, year before. It was Horn Francis.
Yeah, okay. We could have had, someone else could have got the shit at Horn Francis and then we
Yeah,
would have
you
got
still would have
Dacos.
taken Horn Francis.
Maybe.
He was clear. He was
We'll see.
well touted to be the number 1 pick. And I think
No,
Dacos
Dacos was better.
Yeah, Dacos.
was better.
Yeah, Dacos was
You sure
better.
about that?
It was.
We'll
it
see.
was just
no, I'm just joking. It was clear as.
he just wasn't available.
He just wasn't available. Yeah, of course.
Who's this? Who got picked up?
Will Green, the ruck. We've got the
Oh,
first
nice.
ruck.
Oh,
There you go.
Because
And
the
this
Swans don't have a ruckman,
Well,
do
this
they?
was talked about.
They just added Grundy.
They just
yeah, but they don't have anyone else.
But this was talked about, that saying Sydney could be a surprise here by getting Will Green.
Yeah, they needed to before Adelaide, I think.
Yeah, because we know rucks take longer to develop, so he can learn from one of the best, and
That's right.
learn his craft up there in the VFL for the Swannies. And when Grundy's ready to move along, they'll have big Will Green.
What about Laddams though? They have Laddams.
Yeah, he's a ruck forward. He's not a ruckman.
Yeah.
He's a ruck forward.
Yeah, he is.
Not a ruckman.
Yeah, he's right there. He's more of a forward ruck.
He's a forward ruck. Yes, I keep us accountable here. Big Tommy, agree. Just feel as though some clubs get screwed by it. North would have had Walter.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. North would have picked Walter
And-
over Dersma.
Yes.
And then
no
that-
doubt about it.
Like
Yeah.
Richmond's AFLW team from the father-daughter rule in a few years' time is going to be unreal. For father-sons, we've got nothing from it.
Yeah, we got Amy Smith. She's done all right this year.
We need Maddie Prasparkas to get busy. Come on, Maddie. We need some sons.
Retire. It doesn't work because she's got to play 100 games.
Yeah, so she has to. Hasn't she played 100 games yet?
I think anyone like
Have
50
anyone
is
from
kind of
AFLW played
I think 50 is like the norm
Give
now.
us a discount on the women's.
So who Fox Footy are saying they've got James Leake, Darcy Wilson and Collard as the next 3 who are remaining from those higher picks. So we're up to 17. They're saying
Okay.
Leake was kind of their rank number 11.
Yep.
So most of it's gone as expected, but they're the 3 kind of sliders at the moment.
If you're Leak, you're not concerned that you're not going to get drafted.
No,
even though
you're getting drafted.
even though you
It's
probably
only-
would have gone in with an idea of I'm going to be already picked up by now. Even though you haven't,
It only
don't be
happens
worried.
realistically when you're maybe like on that board about pick 30, like the 30th best, and then you start sliding. And then we've seen in the past where there have been players who have completely missed out
They
from
end up
sort of
like
that
pick
rank.
50.
Or no, they don't even get picked up. I've seen in the past where a couple of those players who are ranked 30 just slide and then don't get picked up at all. Now, there are different reasons for that. So usually it's a height issue. But it's, if you're, I don't think I've ever seen somebody ranked inside that top 20 that has slid so far that they just don't get picked up.
Yeah. Zach, how does free agency work in AFL? Do teams just negotiate with guys when their contracts are up?
Yep.
Basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's 2 types of free agency. There's free agency, like you said, you just negotiate. And then if the player wants to come across, that's it, and they get compensation based on the contract. There's restricted free agency, which is if the guy's in your like top 25% of your current players' salaries,
Saints are on the phone.
then the club that's losing the player can now match. So that's kind of where it works out. So RFA, you can match the bid if you're the losing team's player, Like if you're the losing players team, free agency normal, they can just go and then you get compensation pick depending on like the value of the contract, the age, all that kind of stuff.
I reckon this could be a trade here. Silvani's on the phone.
Yes.
I would, you know what, I'm really annoyed.
going to trade Carlton.
St Kilda didn't pick up the ruck there, just,
Well, they're probably
because
annoyed
stuff
too.
you, Cooper Gritch. Who's in ripping cricket form this season.
Yeah, he got what
Ducked
was it,
again.
42.
Ripping form.
Another duck. How many ducks in a row now for him?
Team showing. I'd love to actually go up and play like a game up against Lara.
Yeah,
I was actually
but
chatting
you
to
wouldn't
their-
be your team's sixth.
No,
He
just
plays
no.
Lara
What I
sixth,
need is like my team, and we nearly had it this week because if we're going to win by forfeit, but we end up playing, is like ring up a cop down there who's playing, and can I just come and roll in your bottom team this week? Do you need a player to come fill in? Just go and do one of those.
Nice.
Just roll up and.
Very
Okay,
nice.
so we've got a trade. The Giants
Wow.
and the Saints, and that's just a swap around of picks by the looks of things.
Yeah, and a future R2 from the.
Which is that was that the same future R2 the Giants got from the Crows
does it
before?
say?
It doesn't, but
Oh no, is that round 2 this year? It looks like pick 24. Is that round 2 this? No, it can't be.
no, it
must
can't
be
be.
next year.
No,
So
it
I
says
think
R2
so. That could be
24,
it may be the future that they got
That's
before.
the future one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all they've done is now
They moved one position.
they've moved back.
Because the Giants want someone.
They've
who's
moved back to
obviously very
take the
good.
bolter, and then they've moved now forward another pick.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So it's probably Darcy Wilson, I reckon. Maybe Lee.
Unless it
What
is
happens,
still
what happens
leak.
if it's a leak?
Yeah.
Probably is.
Wow.
Imagine, but if it isn't leak. Yeah, and pick it in, so that clock didn't go down. So they had 14 seconds left, and it was like, bang, lock it in.
They're laughing at the Giants.
Well,
They're just
we'll see
big
who they
braining.
pick up.
I reckon they're just big braining everybody. Because they know their team is good already without having to sell the farm to get anything and get anyone in particular.
That pick is in. Who is it? Leak.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
Yes,
Lake-
it is James
Lake's
Lake.
gone.
So he went
Yep.
anyway.
Yep.
So it's all that. So they must have thought the Giants, with their previous pick, the bolter, that they must have got word that somebody was looking at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So kill the
And the
was.
fact that he was there, because the players, and that's the other thing, if any of these players are there in the night, pretty well clubs have guaranteed that they're going to go. Now, things can change, but they don't want a situation there. Was it 2 or 3 years? Oh, it must have been around that, one of the years where, during COVID, that they could be there, where one of the players was there and didn't get drafted. He was the only one out of the lot that didn't get drafted that night.
Yeah.
So I think the players that are there, the clubs, they get, there's got to be a certain amount of guarantees from a certain amount of clubs to say, yeah, so not, if there's 29 picks going tonight, I think there's only been like 20 invited or something. So if Leake is in that room, or James Leake, is in that room. they,
Yeah, it means it's guaranteed to be bigger.
yeah.
Amen. Of course. So the question is, do they pick up Collard now because they've just lost Gresham, and they need like a gun small forward, and Collard is related to Brad Hill.
Yeah, you'd say so. That could be a
I think that would be the pick.
pick.
That's probably why they were happy to slide back one, because they knew that
Well,
the Giants
they would
weren't
ask
gonna
the
get-
Giants. They would say, "Hey, Giants, who are you going to pick?" Like they're not
then-
going to slide back and
they say
then
no. I'm not going to tell you.
Well, then don't
they
slide
might.
back.
No, but they were very confident they're going to get leak. I'd imagine.
Unless, but because we've seen this twice, do the Saints? How does that call go down? That's why I'm here for Sylvana. Do they go, or do the Giants go? Okay, who are you taking? Because if the Saints are so dead, steadfast on taking Leak, then they're not doing that trade, are they? Unless they've got two guys like because some of these clubs they go, well, we're choosing between two players here.
Yeah.
And then a club rings and goes, well, we're going to offer that. We go, well, that makes our decision easy. We'll go for that second one, but we'll take the extra pick. Yeah, so that the general defender, 188 centimetres, so he's kind of plays on that third tall.
Capable of pushing forward.
Yeah.
He's a swing man. He just fits perfectly there at the Giants because they do have Himmelberg, who is
Who
a swing
swings
man
as
as
well.
well. So you could have like a dual swing. Just gives him that flexibility to be able to change the complexion of the game.
The old super coach dual swing.
Absolutely. It's going to be great to see. Again, not someone that has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders to come in and start playing immediately. There's not a lot of expectations on him because, like we've been saying all night long, the Giants are so well built.
Yep. They're picking him for 2 or 3 years, not
Correct.
for this year.
So it's a great time. if you're going to be moving across to the Giants, a team that's really good right now, seems to be in a good groove, great coach, great
He
system.
probably gets a job soon too, because Nick Haynes is most likely on his last legs, so there'll be a spot for him.
Could be. It depends on how well he goes and also on other availability. I think over there, I don't think they really require
they've
him
shown
immediately.
they don't rush their guys in. But
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, how many games Cadman played this year? Like, they'll give him a taste.
Correct. Give him a taste.
What was that? Do that again.
That's amazing.
Big Tommy does not feel right that there are players who were born in 2005.
Yes. Yes, very true.
Jeez.
I call everyone youngsters these days.
Don't worry,
They're all young
there's
as
a couple of players in the draft who are still 1990s, but they're obviously a bit older than these guys.
2005.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Okay. That is insane.
Zach, I like that I don't know most of the intricacies of how most of this works, but I will still be watching in a decade from now and have plenty of time to learn. LOL. Absolutely. Nothing funny about it, Zach. No one was born knowing everything. It's all about putting yourself out there and consuming as much content as you can, and you'll pick it up quicker than others if you're really passionate about it, which you seem to be.
Watch Fancast.
And if you watch Fancast, if you watch Centre Bounce, if you watch Supercoach Insiders, if you watch Saints TV, but you're not a Saints fan, so you might not watch that stuff.
Collard.
Steve from SDS Supercoach, just general football discussion channels, you'll pick up a lot. And we all gather here at Fancast where we have proper footy chats. When does this draft broadcast end on footy?
I wanted him.
Fox Footy after round 2. Well, tonight is only round 1. Tomorrow is round 2.
Yeah, round 2 in the rookie draft and that, but that goes a bit quicker, so
Well,
you
the
don't have
rookie
on the
draft's the
clock.
next- the
I think they
rookie
only have
draft's on
like 2
Wednesday.
minutes or something, and that. So it's
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
I wanted him to North Melbourne. I think he would have
Well,
been
you-
fantastic.
Could have, but you're the next pick. So
Yeah, I know, and we missed out.
You're going to get Collard now, relax.
Oh, maybe. But I wanted Darcy Wilson.
You wanted Collard too.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I wanted both. They can pick someone else.
The one that I got really excited about, I was watching the draft with a mate a few years ago who did some recruiting and stuff.
He goes for North Melbourne
Jack,
as well.
No, he actually doesn't. But Jack Graham got through to about pick 50, 53, something like that. So, like, I remember we were in this pub and tavern, and I'm just going nuts. I'm like, what a steal. He's going to be a premiership player. Get around him.
Wow.
But yeah, Darcy Wilson goes for North Melbourne. That's why I wanted him.
Went for North Melbourne.
Well,
He goes
So,
for the Saints now.
up until
So they're
2
down
minutes
to
ago.
So
2
they're down
minutes
to
ago.
what? 8 supporters now.
Kanga, kanga, kanga.
Roo, roo, roo.
Oi, 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 this guy.
That is the funniest, cringiest video I've ever seen of any supporter.
Not happy.
I loved it. Oh, he's got Harvey presenting him with the jersey. Very nice. Congratulations, Mr. Wilson.
You
That
could
was.
have had the real Harvey president.
Ooh. Really?
Yep.
You take Boomer over him?
Record games holder.
Doesn't matter.
He's won a premiership.
This is quality over quantity.
How many premierships has Robert Harvey won?
Yeah, but that's a team. It's individual.
Yeah, exactly. It's a team thing.
Really,
One person
really?
doesn't. Oh, okay. So you'd rather have Billy Frampton than Robert Harvey. All right, I see how it
That does annoy me, but because it would have been nice for North Melbourne to.
Yeah.
And the Saints, just the stuff they pick up.
He's rated elite on a few different metrics
yeah,
as well.
good.
So, it's hard.
Yeah, well
hard
done,
life.
St Kilda. Got a good player.
Yep.
Another 185 odd centimetre type player. It's not really much of a point of difference in their midfield, is it?
Depends. He might play a
But
halfback.
he's got to play more outside.
They needed more outside players. Because they've got Crouch and Steele.
So North
On the
Melbourne
inside.
to spend the next 25 minutes
Yep.
running down clocks.
We're on the clock. At least there's only Graham left to bid. So Graham's going to be one of these three.
Yes, it probably will be as well.
Yep.
Just
Anyone
to
else?
add
Is there
extra
another player that
time.
we can bid on?
Bloody
Let's
hell.
make this North Melbourne's hour.
As long as we don't like.
You see how quick those other clubs
I
were?
I don't want 3 ruckmen.
Flew.
That's all I want. I just don't want 3.
Flying through picks. And it's just like, yeah, okay. But how do we drag this out for 20 minutes?
Oh, salty Richmond supporter.
How many selections have you had so far?
Us? Well, we're tomorrow sometime.
It's like Fremantle.
It's like answer like, where's our team? Where are all our draft picks? Hopper and Toronto.
Still pick up like Shea Bolton at pick 30 and, be like, oh, the best player from the draft that year. How did he go pick one?
Yeah, we'll see. Harry Taylor will come in. Be like, yep. Done.
Harry Taylor.
Harry Taylor. Love Harry Taylor.
Very nice.
Come on, North.
Hurry up, man.
Pick someone good.
Are you guys that much
something.
of drama queens that you got to sit here?
I need the meme.
Wilson was our pick.
Do something.
Right? The problem was Wilson was our pick. So he only needed to last one more spot, but he was our pick.
You should have traded up to
Should
him.
have traded up.
Of course.
Should have done something.
Done something. Throw that future first around.
Well, not anymore. It's a bit late.
Swing it around, mate. Like, you need some BD energy, man. Jeez, Clarko has become very subdued after these allegations.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Gee whiz, mate.
Watch him trade our future first to Hawthorn for a pick. Pick 50.
Pick 75.
Yeah, pick 50.
Pick 69. Very nice. You got 52 seconds in counting.
Yeah, Wilson was our pick.
Wilson is you don't have a backup?
No, of course we do. We're just trying to work out which order we're going to do because Adelaide's probably going to pinch one of the next ones. When you've got a pick in between, you've got to monitor your pick, but then also, hey, can we afford to let this guy go again?
Who's your most important player that you need right now?
I don't even know.
Isn't it Collard?
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Well, then, Dimatina, maybe, bit of outside.
Maybe. Depends which way they're going to go.
They have outside. They've got Sheasel.
yeah.
Because there's some
I know,
talk. There's some...
They need everything. Give them the world.
They need 22 Sheasels.
Yep.
And a Woodlaw.
And a Ruckman.
And a Ruckman.
No, we just put two Sheasels on top of each other.
Would you like to fight one giant Andy Sanderland's Sheasel?
I like that one.
I like that one.
Who's the pick?
Oh, you've bitted.
North Melbourne. Brady's not happy. Look at him.
Who's Will McCabe?
Hawks.
That's the Hawks.
North didn't have enough time. We better throw in a last second bid.
Quickly.
Told ya, they're going to drag this out for 20 minutes.
Yeah, Graham's next.
Mayday.
Imagine
Graham, yes.
Graham's next. Watch out. 15 more minutes.
Trying to get on the phone with people, please. We want to trade.
We lost our player.
We lost our player.
Give us more picks.
Quickly, contact.
We need to go interview some players. We need 2.5 hours.
Pull out the draft guide.
Exactly.
Who's left?
Oh, that is funny. Oh, my God.
What a waste. Our first disappointment of the day.
First? You were pretty disappointed you got Dersma.
No. I'm fine with either one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't trade up.
So you are disappointed then?
No. Adelaide did the trade that we should have done, right? But that's okay. But Wilson one pick too late hurts my soul.
All right, let me just while North Melbourne continue to suck our lives away. Big Tommy, are we saying under or over 3 years until Curtin goes home to WA?
I don't think he leaves. People don't leave Adelaide.
People don't leave Adelaide?
How many people have left? People leave to go to Adelaide.
Right.
But how many players have Adelaide actually lost to go home factor?
It's a good question.
Adelaide, not Port, but Adelaide. I don't think there's that many. If he's good enough and he's playing in a competitive team, I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think there's that much of a go home factor.
Why did Dode go to Brisbane? Why did Dode go to Brisbane?
Because he's done 2 ACLs and they offered him 5 years.
Is he not originally from Queensland?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay.
I think they've offered him 2 ACLs. two ACLs. And
They've offered him 2 ACLs.
They've offered him 2 ACLs. Done.
Oh, I heard you like ACLs. 2 more.
Charlie Cameron was maybe the last one that really left.
Yeah.
I mean, Himmelberg tried to leave, but he's not best 22, so it doesn't really count.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah, there's not
Billy
that many.
Frampton?
Not best 22, though.
Was Frampton not best 22?
No, he's a fringe player.
Okay.
So he'll be on no money at Collingwood. He's won a premiership, he's happy, right? But he's on no money.
Fair enough. Reckon he stays for more than 3 years.
Yep.
Tommy. Zach Hardy. Alrighty. North Mel Blue Bulls. Pick our next Gold Coast player for us, lol.
Yeah, that's it.
Zach Hardy. Holy shit, you're right. Where the fuck has Freo been?
Yeah.
Not here. They would have had a top 5 pick. If not for them trading that away to get Luke Jackson in. That's sort of blown up in their face a little bit. Who would have been a perfect fit? Curtin, exactly.
Curtin would have been. He's the next Matthew Pavlich. You know. Yeah, done.
Oh man,
they would have had him too.
They gave up Curtin to get Jackson.
Yep.
Look, Jackson
next
is
year
rarer, right?
Next year they're going to have some picks, but they could have offered GWS like 2 firsts to break back in. They would have done it too.
Jackson is a rarer type of player than Curtin. Yeah, no.
Nah,
you don't think so?
Not
a dynamic ruckman that can push forward.
I think the money alone from Curtin, just to be like, stuff you West Coast, we got Curtin and you didn't. I think that would have been worth it alone there.
All right, so what are we looking through? Edwards, Diamantina.
Oh, Jake Lever. Yes, Tommy, Jake Lever. Jake Lever left.
Yeah, that's fair. But that was a lot longer though. That wasn't like the last 3 years. I think Hardiman probably goes. We need defenders, but I'm not happy about it.
William McCabe, bid
matched. I don't think North needs talls, to be honest. I think maybe a tall forward, and like a defender.
What do you mean you don't need talls?
We brought in 2 during the trade period, and we've got a ruckman already in line for the rookie pick.
Who'd you bring in the trade period again?
Biggie and Toby Pink.
Pink, sure.
Yeah. Biggie's like 200.
Biggie is 200.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
He's tall.
Yeah, big boy.
Yeah.
He's not called Biggie for a reason.
Griffin Logue might be.
The players in this range are kind of the ruckman, but.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I don't want one.
I don't think you'd be taking them.
No. I think they're going to try and force it, but I don't think it's... They're trying to do something. They're having big deliberations. They're like, Wilson was our guy. That's it.
But nobody wants to trade up now.
Curtin's a Freo fan as well, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would have been perfect for him.
Zach Hardy, lol, the idea that North has waited until now to scout these players is hysterical.
Call them up on the phone.
They just get to the room and go, oh shit, hold on, we've made an oversight.
They spent so long with Curtin that they had no time to try.
Clarko wasn't
meet with anyone else.
Yeah.
2.5 hours. Mate, his time clearly is not very valuable.
Clarko's probably calling up Collard saying, hey, you're going to leave if we pick you.
Pick is in.
Oh no, here we go.
Please.
Match bid.
Would we be surprised?
Nah.
Seriously. Come on, North. Do something.
Why are they going to Sam Mitchell?
Sake.
Why are they looking at Sam Mitchell?
Because they just matched the bid with McKay.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Honestly, how much better would this...
Why is she showing us chocolates? I don't know. She just dropped one.
Nat Edwards can do whatever she wants.
Mate,
yeah, Nat runs the AFL secretly.
Who's that?
Someone who's not there. I'm gathering someone in Perth, which potentially...
Oh.
No, it's the ruck. It's the goad.
Oh!
The rucks. Shaking rucks. We
got the goad.
Bolter.
We got the goat, and now we have the goad.
The big ruck.
That's all right. I'll take him.
It's going very bad for North Melbourne here tonight.
Yeah, it's all going wrong. Here's where the wheels fall off.
They've fallen off well and truly. There's sparks. There are sparks.
He's a good player. He can play multiple positions. Up forward, down back, and ruck at the same time.
Plays like Sammy Draper.
Oh, you wish. You wish you were Sam Draper. Get out of here.
Done.
I guess you'd say the Curtin really fell on Freo's chance to bring him in, eh? I like that one, Zach. Nice one.
Well, the thing we've got, he's massive. Big boy, 207.
Yeah, 206.
Seven.
Yeah.
They just said 7 here.
207. There, you're done.
Yeah. He's grown since then.
He's grown, bruv. Growing all the time.
It's just, but he's just about long-term development. Like,
no, you might just play him down back.
No, you've lost, with Goldie going out, you've got Cherry there. So they're looking at obviously some backup option.
Potentially.
Long-term.
Potentially. We'll see kind of what's going to happen.
Because Cherry potentially again can maybe move as into that forward ruck position.
Well,
potentially.
We've got Charlie Comben.
Yeah, well, if he gets over his injuries.
That's true.
Man, you put all your eggs in that basket.
No, it just works out nice. Darcy Wilson was a good fit. It just went one pick too early.
Yeah. You had all your eggs.
They're interviewing Go
in the
from
Darcy
home
Wilson.
because why would you think
No
he'd
one
be
told
there?
him to come.
Yeah, because why?
Like you're on it. I reckon that Darcy Wilson miss.
Yep.
Really shook.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Like they could not believe the Saints. Sauce?
No,
really?
But, like people had gone for him. Like draft boards had him going earlier. It was just that he lasted there, so he would have been our pick, guaranteed one done. So it's just kind of working out, I think, a little bit. Where do we think Adelaide is going to be Are they going to go for Goad or are they going to pick someone else now?
Potentially they could have but then they, Raleigh, but they've still got Thilthor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but they needed another one.
Yeah, they probably needed another one.
Yeah, so Goad could have gone at the next pick.
Could have.
Yeah.
He could have goaded.
Yep.
Goad.
I just like this guy's hair. Look at that frizz, mate. Wonder what bet this guy lost.
I love it. I can't believe it. North of Melbourne.
Yeah.
No, the gift that keeps on giving.
As long as we don't take a ruck. Oh, yes. Oh, that's the ruck I
We
always
took the
wanted.
rock, yes. The household name. Oh, he got goaded into that one.
Done.
We goaded him into that
Done. We're
one.
going to hear that for a while, aren't we?
Yep.
Oh my god. Hurry up.
Well, we know there's probably only like 5 more selections.
Well,
so
we
at
know
least
he
that's
ain't
something.
super coach relevant next year.
Maybe you can be like the captain every week.
What happens if he turns into Briggs? Like, just comes out of the clouds.
Yeah.
plays every-
Briggs has been in the system for a while.
Nah, be Samson Ryan. Just comes out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
big Samo Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
done.
put on some weight, Samson Ryan, apparently. He's buffed up.
Yeah, buffed up. Looking all right.
Super coach relevant?
No.
It's all right. Nankervis can get suspended every now and then.
Yeah, Soldo's still playing for you, so that's all right. Should have left.
Should have.
Should have left.
Should have, could have, would have.
Should have left to North Melbourne. We won't go there.
Everyone should have gone to North Melbourne.
Oh, shut up.
Kanga, kanga, kanga. Boo, boo, boo.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. Zach's all in on this.
Done.
Got some Canadian banter.
Done.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what country you're from. You can always make fun of North Melbourne, and it will work in some way, shape, or form.
All right, the Crow Eaters are up. Crom.
The Crom, come on.
Picks in. Graham, done.
I don't think they'll bid. I think you guys will bid on your next bid.
Just to waste more time.
Just
as
to waste
usual.
more.
Oh, they might pick Collard just for fun.
That's what I'm thinking.
Just take another small
It's funny,
forward.
yeah, and it shows that because nobody's trading up now. Nobody wants these bloody plays.
Who is that?
It's somebody obviously not there. They're
Someone not at home.
Charlie Edwards.
Oh, there you go.
Charlie
There's a ruckman.
Edwards.
See that?
That fits in. So
Yeah,
it's probably
that
going to be
makes
Goad.
more sense.
It would have been one of the two then
Yeah.
that they tried to pick. That's all right. All is good.
Big Tommy, what teams have the worst draft performance so far that's picked?
It's actually been pretty good. I don't think there's been really. I think you see it later on, but generally with the picks being so tight, I don't think there's really been that many like
The
cool, this guy's
Giants
been
to a
bad
point.
pick. Yeah,
Because
GWS,
now
like,
Haven't had the worst performance.
Well, we've had it.
It's unexpected.
We've had a discussion before about they've got to take certain players who are more flight risk, and you could see the joy compared to when they took like Tanner Bruin, for example, who looked like
he was going to cry.
Looked like his mum died.
It did. Looked like he just came back from a funeral and the shock on his face there, where that kid was all up about it. So the two boys they've done are excited to go there. So it's a different situation. But they have taken, well, their first pick they took the Bolter.
Phoenix,
But they must have heard
Gothard.
something about Gothard. Maybe that St Kilda or someone like that was looking at him. So they had to move earlier. And there's a lot of, outside of this sort of top 10, 12 range, the next sort of 10 to 20 picks, very close.
Yes.
And the general consensus is don't be surprised if the players that sort of pick 27, 28, 29 are better than those guys taken at 12, 13,
Yeah.
14. Because this is probably the last year of that really COVID affected.
Yep.
They had a year, the Victorian boys in particular, had a couple of years out of footy. So that's where we're seeing the Bolter for Melbourne
And-
earlier, in Windsor, sort of
Yeah.
come from the clouds. And you always get people
and
come from the
Thrall's
clouds.
drop too.
Yep.
But then it's more just based, as Swiz was saying, right? It's more based on needs as well. So a lot of teams might not need ruckman at the start, but they could be the same level of player as the ruckman are now, as the teams are now. So really just kind of depends on needs. After like the top 10, top 12, it's really just needs from then on.
But there
And
was
that's why
probably a
teams don't
little
trade
bit
up as
there.
much.
And it's hard to know which one, like, because each club has their individual draft boards. Now, like, I have a look, I follow it most of the year, but each club would look at it differently. And just because some player, and we see it all the time, some player has gone, say, pick 5, and then in 5 years' time they're not in the system, and people are like, how did that club take it? Well, there might have been 3 clubs straight after him, or after that pick, that didn't actually have that guy in their top 20.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably like
because,
Will Phillips.
For example, yeah, and then the argument is, should have you taken Logan McDonald? But then also, was Logan McDonald going to show the same development if he went to North at the same time? There's all this, and then people go, well, why didn't North Melbourne take Will Phillips? So there's a lot of that in it as well.
Oh, it's like why didn't Carlton pick anyone else apart from Paddy Dow? So, yeah.
I think that ultimately how well the Giants have drafted this, how they've gone about it this year, entirely depends on what comes of Gothard's
That's
career.
right, exactly.
That's literally all it is. So for now, it's hard to say that they've done poorly. I think they've done well because they got the player that they wanted in Leak a lot further down the track than otherwise. So essentially, they've got someone who was initially ranked as a higher player a lot further back, but at the same time you can say that's sort of counteracted by the fact that someone that was rated very low was taken very early.
I reckon we pick up like a Schoen Makers or a Murphy right now.
Well, they're still on that board.
I think that's where we kind of go. We won't trade
another
back.
Tasmanian.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see clubs really trading back now unless there was somebody there that, like for example, somebody who hasn't had a pick yet, like a Richmond, go, well, that player
Or
is
a
still
Freo
there,
or someone.
or Freo, and goes, we can actually get involved here.
Yeah.
But I don't think some of these clubs that have already had a pick are going to probably be trading to come up for your pick right now.
I like what we did. I like that we got Caddy. I thought that was a really good
picks
pickup.
in. I reckon Schoen Makers,
But
Murphy
I
is
don't
probably
think
one of
North
my-
Melbourne
or
have done
Hard-
very well this
or
year.
Or Hardiman.
I think North Melbourne had a lot to do. Had a lot they could have done. I don't think you've maximised what
Probably not.
what you could
Well,
have.
we kept our pick for next year, so.
Yeah, but I think there was certainly scope
The
to
fact
do
that
better.
you done this so quick, I was going to say that you did that so quick, there might have been a trade involved, but no.
Big Tommy, that Gothard draft reaction may be the best I've ever seen. 100%. That was insane energy. I loved that, Tommy.
Who is it?
Will Dawson,
Oh,
key
wow.
defender.
Wow, okay,
Another
cool.
bolter.
Oh, another
Alright.
Dawson.
Yep.
So you don't want Collard?
No, there's still a pick to go. We might just not pick Collard at all. If unless we're going for a Hardiman or someone like that.
Unless you really think that no one's going to pick up Collard now in this first round.
No, they probably will. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Will Dawson was like pick in the 50s before, and then for the past week or so, he's actually dropped down quite far. He's a really good key defender, and I think it kind of fits in with a little bit with what we need. It's just that he went this late. I kind of had him as being out if we could trade back and get him
You
like
mean
tomorrow.
this early, yeah.
Yeah, we could have got him
Yeah.
like tomorrow instead, but there must be some draft boards had him like at our next pick. So 17 and 18.
So again,
And
another
that's
example of
and
something
then-
not great for North
And then
Melbourne.
again, you've
Hey,
got
we need key defenders, right? Now we've got
Yeah.
a key defender that's 200 centimetres.
now,
Like,
and then again, you've got to have clubs who are willing to trade up. And if,
Yeah, exactly.
If there's players there that they're going, well,
Yeah.
I'm not really willing to trade up for.
yeah. So I would not be surprised if we picked like a runner or maybe like a Hardiman or someone like a general tough defender that can play on smalls at the same time.
Players like Asava Radicalia.
It's a kind of a need. Ben Mackay's left.
Yeah.
So they kind of do need someone.
And we've got other players who are like 197, but we don't have that 200 centimetre guy.
You didn't need, we didn't have one of those this year, and we just missed out on finals.
That's all right.
You didn't have to draft. You didn't have to use this earlier draft pick on
if
someone that
look
you
at our
don't really think is
look
that
at our
great.
range of players, right? We've got probably the best midfielder. We've got the best forward. We've now picked up a ruckman who's okay, and we've picked up maybe second or third in the key defender role, like aerially second or third in the key defender. So it's across the board of needs. I think we're slowly getting there.
The best ruckman of last year's draft didn't even play a single game. Bennett, when he went to West Coast. I'm not entirely sure.
You're stuck behind BJ Williams, man. Like this guy's too good.
Ah, yes, BJ, good old blowjob.
Nick Nat played what? Did he play one game this year or no?
Nick Nat? Nah.
No, okay.
It was just BJ's team.
So I reckon we pick up Collard. I don't know if it's the right move, but I think that's who we pick up.
I think he should. I think he's too good not to.
Well, the three there, Collard, Hardiman, and Dimatier.
Yeah, two of them
Yeah.
are defenders, and then two of them are like running defenders, general defender types. Hopefully, like a I'm going to say Bruz from Collingwood, but hopefully a bit like him.
Fake
That's kind
tough
of
guy.
who we need.
And
then
the one tomorrow, and he still could go today, is that George Stevens.
the big guy that's 101 kilos.
Yeah.
Monster.
Inside. Now, that's the
180
nickname ball.
centimetres.
There's your ball. That is your
No, we
definition
got-
of that nickname ball.
I love it if he was just his nickname was Matador instead. Zach, the AFL could have handed the Roos pick 1, and they still would have found a way to just try and pick Walter sooner. Lol. Big Tommy, the name Will should be illegal. Has to have 2 L's to be validated.
Yeah.
Look, Tommy, I think maybe Will's parents were like, nah, only 1 L suffices. We don't want to have 2 L's. Like, can't cop this L. You know what I mean? Maybe they were.
I was going to make a bad joke, and then I won't do it. So that's all right.
Only 1 L.
Yeah, he's gone to North Melbourne.
There's your other L. There's the other L. You don't need it in the name. Just in real
The
life.
problem with your shirts in
It looks too
the
much
draft
like
room.
Carlton.
It looks
I
like-
thought you were kind of Carlton Geelong.
I thought it was Geelong.
Yeah,
It's really
like
interesting.
Navy, weird navy blue color. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan.
it's like
The Geelong Pandas.
the
yeah, go Pandas.
the training clothes are fantastic. They're phenomenal. But these like polo shirts, we're stuck with wearing them for another year.
If you didn't get that reference when I said the Geelong Pandas, which team was it? The Giants or was it
No,
the
the
Swans?
Suns.
The Sun. It was the Swans.
No, it was the Suns. The Suns.
Swans.
No,
The Swans.
Swans.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Go to Sydney social media.
Brilliant.
They interviewed tourists over there at Sydney Harbour, asking them, "What do you think the names of these teams are?" It is hilarious.
Fantastic.
The Geelong Pandas is all I'm going to say. Oh, and the Penguin Association.
Oh, yeah. The Penguin Association. See, I like ours, the Tiger Man. I'm like,
Tiger Man.
Tiger Man.
Per pussies.
We're the UFOs. We're the UFOs.
Riley Harding.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, done.
Get him to the Melbourne
no
Comedy
collard then.
Festival right now.
No collard. Oh well. It is what it is.
On you, Tommy. No Collard. Wow. You were,
Yep, I would have loved him.
Yep. Dare I say it, for about 2 weeks.
Yep. I
You've
was on
been
the collard
singing this guy's
I was on the
praises.
collard. You know what happened? He grew 5 centimeters. That was the problem. He was 180, now he's 185.
And how was that a problem?
Because now he's no longer a small forward, he's a medium forward. And we've got too many of those already. He's lost all his speed. He grew taller. Yeah,
Classic North recruiter.
intercepting defender. I think the beautiful thing now is that our defense is basically, like, I'm not going to say done, but at least it's got enough players to like make competition now. So whatever happens tomorrow, then that's fine. But we've just picked up effectively 2 defenders, potentially a third.
They're all
coach,
trying to
so-
smother him to make sure that he doesn't live to play for North Melbourne. Your life is going to be forfeit now. Quickly, let's put him out of his misery.
Done.
They're all swarming him to save him. But he's got good stats,
Yeah, he can jump, which is a big thing too.
even though he's white.
He'll come off that half-back flank. He's got good meters gain. Hopefully a replacement for your captain down the track and Luke McDonald.
Mate, anyone's a replacement for Luke McDonald at this point.
Give me a gig, mate. No, not that far.
No, it's okay.
You just said anyone.
It's okay, Joe.
Oh, you're right. I'm not anyone. I'm no one.
It's okay.
But actually, he probably is he is McDonald because he's there for his leadership skills. So
He leads the way on how to be shit.
that's right.
Zach, maybe I'm just keen on brand identity, but I just don't like so many Vic brandings. Collingwood is cool, but they annoy me. They are very annoying. Carlton is boring. Hawthorn is too drab. North, haha. And St Kilda bores.
At least
That's
ours,
literally what he said.
At least ours is
like
an
it.
Australian animal. Like, a kangaroo. Oh, it's Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
I'll give you that.
blues. What's a blue?
Yeah, I don't know what a blue is. Beyond blue. They're always depressed. That's what, until this year, they've finally come around. I unironically love the Sunny's crest, by the way. So maybe I have no taste.
Which is weird because not many Australians like it. So maybe it's like an international thing.
They like the sun. Here
Maybe it's
comes the sun. Na, 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 na. Here comes the sun.
So is this the last 4 picks
hate that
left?
song.
Or is there another pick after Carlton?
What do we got here? So
You can join
no,
in.
there is. It's-
Whenever next time I start singing,
I
you
feel
can
like
join
there's
in.
29 today.
Okay, because they still haven't done Graham.
Yeah, well, they don't mind. Graham might not get bidded on today.
Oh, he probably will. They'll do it just at the end. Just
Oh,
Oh yeah, well they might actually not be because that includes Graham, doesn't it? I think.
And Geelong just seems like sad Collingwood crossed with all the bore of Carlton and their annoyingly 1910s crest and tune.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
What about the Bombers? What do you have to say about the Bombers, Zach? We found the new Beatles. Oh, Tommy, you're making me blush, bro. Come on, you can't do that to me.
Oh wow.
But yeah, tell us what do you reckon about the Bombers, Zach? Tell us the Bombrays. I love calling us the Bombrays because I think it was in the 90s. We actually made a mistake.
Like Dale?
What?
Did they say Hardman plays like Dale?
They could have.
Okay.
Bailey Dale.
Yeah.
That's a good pickup then.
Yeah, that's all right for us.
I mean, at this point, it's like a free swing.
Well, is it like how many more compensation picks and stuff? Can we get from?
Well, that's why it's a free swing, right? Because it's all free picks, just AFL assistants.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Just don't say anything. The silence says it. The silence says enough.
At least our pick 57 is now, 49 or something? So would have thought North Melbourne would have bidded on another Gold Coast pick, so at least our 47 goes down further, but maybe all their picks are all gone. They've just got like a 70 now, so it doesn't matter.
Isn't there still one other player that's still left to be bidded on?
Yeah, Graham.
Yeah. Gee, there's no point in bidding anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's what happened with us with our Davey twins last year.
Yeah. Well, one was injured. So, like, you weren't going to bid on him anymore. You're going to pick up an injured guy that might not play again.
No, but the bid didn't come until in the 40s.
Yeah.
Like, that was great. We were very happy with that.
But no one bids on the bad, like, father-sons. They just let him slide.
They weren't bad father-sons. Everyone else...
one of them was injured.
He was injured, but he was even more talented than the healthy one. But everyone had their own plans, and everyone had their own things that they were going to do, and just assumed that someone was going to bid on them. But the fact of the matter is, no one did. It was only until Hawthorn was like, crap, these guys are about to get these players for free. We need to have a bid. So it's been a great couple of years for the Bombers. Absolutely. I'm very happy with what we've done thus far. So here's the bid now. Collingwood have bidded. No, the Swans. Caden Cleary. Giving up 43 and 47 to get back pick 63 midfielder.
Yep. Was that from the Swans?
This is to the Swans to match this bid. So the Pies have bidded on Caden Cleary.
He's a good player.
What more can you tell us about Caden Cleary?
Plays midfield. If we pull up the screen, we could have a look. But yeah, plays midfield. Yeah, not too bad. Not a bad pick. It's just more depth for them. I don't think they really need the type of player, but I don't think they'll let him go to the Pies. I think I'll have to match it.
Bidney are back, yeah. The Swans are the biggest bidders in the comp. It's actually insane how much they bid, which is rightfully so. Like, make other teams pay up for the players that they want. Make them use their currency. It makes no sense to me why people don't bid.
Well, there's a little bit of a respect thing too, and also you don't want it biting you in the butt in future years. Like, you don't want clubs bidding on you too early as well. So it's kind of like this unwritten rule.
I think the AFL's they're too friendly. I think you should just be bidding on everyone. Like, as long as they're available at your pick, no worries. See, right now, like, the Swans are trading, and then they're going to go and match the bid. Done.
I love the Bombers branding. It seems timeless. Oh, Zach, I knew I loved you. I run a website called Pacer One that I release fictional stories on, and you can see the color scheme of white, black, and red. The Essendon drugsters get 2 out of those 3 colors on brand.
So St Kilda.
And I fucking love it. Yeah, the St Kilda, exactly. Also, I think Richmond's scheme and stuff is really cool. Modern, but timeless in appearance.
I think GWS, out of all the colors, being impartial, I love North Melbourne, but I think GWS is the best. That grey and orange is just like top notch.
It helps that they keep losing to us all the way to their coach, Teehee, and the Suns always got the Tigers measure. It's a classic sash. Just the sash. It's nice, simple, classy. It works. It's absolutely timeless. I agree.
Yeah, somehow it represents a bomber having a sash. I don't know.
Does a sash represent a tiger?
How does it not?
Yeah.
I don't see claws.
Tigers have stripes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a stripe.
You can pen a stripe on the plane.
You have to paint the stripe on the plane. It doesn't come with the
God
stripe.
painted the first
It doesn't come
stripes.
with the
God painted the first stripes on the tiger. Okay.
God. As long as God's getting into this, we'll be all right, Joe. Just go back to God made my plane. That's it. God invented planes, mate. He invented the paint that went on the planes.
So Sydney have matched their...
Of course they have.
Yeah, of course, as expected.
Of course.
There's no doubt about that. There's another midfielder to their group.
I wonder if the Pies are trying to trade back. Like, I know they talked about Collard being around this position, but I wonder if they're actually going to go for him, or if the Pies are trying to get like someone else. Hey,
like
do you
West
want?
Coast or Freo?
Yeah. Hey, do you want this pick? And you will get your first rounder next year, and we can pick swap.
So Collard is exclusively he was a small forward. He's now a medium forward.
He's been upgraded because he's got taller.
How quickly did those 5 centimeters come on?
I don't know. Like 4 days ago, he was 180, and then
He's grown 5 centimeters in 4 days.
His stats
Huge,
jumped
mate.
up,
Huge.
Joe. His stats jumped up, and it was 185 centimeters. And I'm like, mate, this guy's not short anymore.
How do you grow 5 centimeters in 4 days?
I don't know. It just happened.
He's adding more than a centimeter a day. Mm-hmm. Nah, there's no way. Exactly, Tommy. That just makes
Maybe
no
he had,
human sense.
Maybe he put like incisors in his shoes. Is like
He must have put something in his shoes. There's no
Potentially.
way you could
Anything-
naturally grow 5 centimeters in 4 days.
Anything not to be taken by North Melbourne, right?
He's on the Ivan Drago routine. He's just come back from Russia.
Yeah, I reckon the Pies are trying to. They'll pick up Collard maybe, but I reckon they're trying to trade back. I reckon someone wants this.
This
pick.
is where, but they're not going to do it here because you have seen the
Someone's
NBA,
available
the
that
NBA
people
system. You can draft someone and then trade on
Yes.
trade that way.
Yep.
They're saying now that's a little bit different for us because of the age of our draftees compared to their draftees.
Yes.
So
But
they said it's
I
probably
wouldn't mind
never
that.
going. It's probably never going to come here because they're like, some of the players they get their head around moving across the country, and then all of a sudden, half an hour later they're moving to another part of the country.
I truly wouldn't mind that. I think NFL has it as well because I know people get
it's
picked up
big
and
in
then
America.
they get traded. Yeah,
But in the flip side to that is, you haven't actually left anywhere yet. So
No, exactly.
It's you just got to go in that draft knowing an open mind. You could be traded anywhere.
yeah.
So you could have this situation where Collingwood could pick up Collard,
Like North
and
would
then
probably
go,
say,
well, West Coast,
Yeah.
your player isn't there now. What do you want for a...
Yeah, like North would probably say, "Hey, St Kilda, you took our player. We'll go and we'll give you our second rounder so we can get him." Like it will happen. Oh, well, I'm happy.
Hurry up, Collingwood.
No,
You just won the flag.
They'll trade up. I reckon someone else will trade for the pick.
We'll trade up.
No, I mean like someone else will trade the pick for him.
Are you sure?
I reckon they take. I mean, you've got it there. So whatever I say, but I reckon someone's trying to trade. Oh,
They are.
Your
But
time's
you
wrong.
are right. They're on the phone.
Yeah, your time's wrong.
You mean my time's wrong?
Mine's
Oh,
1:56.
so I've gone back behind. There you go.
Yeah,
Going back in time.
How did you go back in time?
It's not going to help us out.
But I reckon
We're going to
they're on
spoil
the
you.
My wife got into me about that before. She's like, you're behind. I've gone, it's because I logged out or
Yeah.
something.
Well, that was it. Like they Collard would have been a great pick, right? But I think they've got too many of his type. It's not like a must-have, must-need type. But what do you get for pick 25? Like next year's second rounder?
But
Potentially?
the thing with West Coast as well, they've got that first pick for the second night, which we see clubs come really hard for because
Yes.
they go home, they wake up, they do their morning meetings.
Who do we need that's not being picked?
Yeah, that's right. Let's
Spend
have
2.5 hours with them.
looking through that list.
Hey, Clarko's doing that. So in a couple of years, when he comes to North, it's like, yeah, I've always been a fan of the club.
Curtin.
Yeah.
He's going to leave South Australia though, to come to Victoria.
Anti-Horn Francis. We'll see.
Bro, you literally just said no one leaves South Australia.
But it's a good narrative, though. It's a good narrative to have.
And he's gonna leave South Australia for Victoria, even though he's a
Highest pick is
WA.
in.
All right.
Maybe someone didn't want to pay for it. Is it going to be Collard? Probably not. Probably Di Mattia, I think.
Yeah, that's the way I'm leaning here, but...
Or maybe a ruckman. It might be a ruckman if there's any good rucks left.
Yeah, because Mason Cox is shit,
No, just because it's getting old.
and he's shit.
Who is it?
Can't tell yet. They're all jumping over, and
Oh.
so it's hard when they've got literally 40 people in the room
that's
jumping on the player, and you
Well,
can't actually
people
can't
are in the highest
actually
jerseys.
can't actually. It is Harry
Yep.
Di Mattia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a bad defender.
Di Matteo. Di Matteo.
Is he a mid or is it?
He sounds like an Italian. Is it Italian? Di Matteo, you reckon? Maybe Di Matteo. Di Matteo. Di Matteo. He speak Italian.
Outside midfielder,
He has the kicking and the speed and the flexibility,
which
but
kind of makes sense because still side bottom's got pretty old.
Well, and Taylor Adams is left.
there is no ball
And,
winning.
Bianco's been delisted and Poulter's gone. So, yeah.
So who wins the ball?
No,
Mason Cox.
Dacos.
Dacos, Nicky D. Just put him everywhere.
Just does it all.
So what's that? 3 more picks now?
Yeah, it might actually be on
Two-
three.
two- yeah, three more picks.
No, they say West Coast is there on 29.
No, but it will-
I'm pretty sure West Coast is tomorrow.
Yes, it
starting
will be.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
it will be.
So
I
1,
think
2,
Kilda and
3.
Carlton. So 3 to go.
3, including this one. Jeez, it's been a long slog.
Yeah, so they've probably told him, hey, look, we'll pick you up if you're available.
And straight into the shirt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Straight into
People
the
knew
shirt.
already. Yeah,
Had the shirt ready to go.
people knew already.
It's good.
So what took 'em
who
so
does
long?
Adelaide pick? You've got 3 minutes. Who does Adelaide pick? What type of player? If not a player, what type of player do you see them needing?
Well, they've already gone
their
to the
team?
defenders, so that's covered that. I think.
Do they go for another small forward?
I think they need a
Maybe not?
little bit more through that midfield.
Okay. So like an outside
Yeah, I'd
player
say
or an
more,
inside player?
I'm saying
or-
more outside because you've got Leard and Dawson playing those
Yeah.
inside roles, and they've already got like Crouch, but he's of there's a couple in there that can replace each other. Where they got Schoenberg, and who's the other one I'm forgetting in that Adelaide midfield?
Berry.
Berry, yeah.
Berry, yeah.
So you've already got. So I think they need some outside.
Look, they've done very well for a team that's had Curtin and then picked up McCabe. And then now they've still got
No,
like
McCabe was Hawthorn.
Oh, no, who they? These guys have got one.
Yeah,
No, Hawks have a father-son that hasn't been bid on yet.
No, Hawthorn was bidded on, McCabe.
No, but I'm pretty sure
the Crows.
I'm pretty sure Crows have someone that's not been bidded on. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know. But I'm pretty sure the Crows have someone that's a key defender that's not been bidded on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that high up, was it? I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
Yeah.
Big Tommy, Kevin Sheehan must hibernate between the drafts.
Yeah, he does.
I think
That's
he
right. He has 11 months off a year. And they freeze him.
cryogenically freeze him.
Oh, Matt
He's like
Rendell does the same thing too. Matt Rendell.
he's like Jasper
rest
in
in
the
peace.
Rest in peace, I was gonna say.
He's Jasper in The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and they pull him out of the freezer every 11 months,
Correct.
defrost him, and wheel him out tonight.
St Kilda just takes a bad boy colour scheme
So I
that
reckon
you
they
can't
pick,
get wrong
I reckon they pick Mitch Edwards. That's
and
fine.
made it a law-abiding, honest
Yeah,
student.
Ruckman.
This is like
Mobile
Well, I
Ruckman.
still think,
Mobile Ruckman, I reckon they pick him.
unless they just gone like the Shaw makers and just go, okay, we're just going to
Yeah,
invest
that-
all in these
that
key
works as well.
defenders.
Well, he's more of he's only 194.
Yeah.
So he's not that big.
So it's a different kind of style to
Yeah.
what they've already got.
Yeah, it's more like Daniel Rich. They've
But then it
been
also
fortunate.
gives them the flexibility if Curtin does come on as a midfielder.
And I think Dode took a few kickouts as well, right? So when he was good.
When he had ACLs to kick.
Yeah, when he had a leg.
And with deeper thought, I hate the Carlton branding. They feel like the granddad of the AFL, but not the cool kind. The kind that dodged getting drafted to war. Kerno makes them more palatable. Going off your earlier claim that the Roos are named after an Aussie thing, not that it matters to me, and that no one knows what a blue is, I propose we rename them the Carlton Antidepressants. The problem is, for a lot of Carlton supporters, they were the depressants to them.
up until this year.
Up until after they lost to us. They were throwing and spitting and swearing at their players coming off the field. So I'm not sure if the
Could they pick up
antidepressants...
2 Edwards? I reckon they could go Edwards. Just pick up
back-to-back Edwards.
M Edwards instead of E Edwards or C Edwards. I reckon.
See you later, Edwards.
I reckon it'd be a good fit.
Just for the name factor.
Well, I think Mitch Edwards can actually play a bit of forward as well. So it might be like, hey, Phil Thorpe's not
They don't-
working.
they don't
Phil
need
Thorpe's
any
not
more
working.
forwards,
No,
don't
but
they?
they need tall forwards though.
No, they don't.
Who? Tex is almost finished.
Tex.
Phil Thorpe's no
Phil
good.
Thorpe.
He's no good.
Fogarty.
Yeah, so Fogarty stays.
Don't they
and
have
then if
another
Phil
one up
Thorpe's
there
got-
as well?
No, I don't
Do they
think
cuff
so.
in?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like they do.
We'll see.
Sorry, George. Don't remember all your Crom players.
The guys that don't actually play.
Still got Rankin, bro. Rankin can play tall.
Oh, yeah. Just do it.
Just takes the occasional screamer here and there.
Yeah.
Pick is in anyway. So.
Pick is
You know
in.
what's funny, though, is that West Coast is going to end up taking Collard with the pick tomorrow, and it's going to be hilarious. Like, it always... Like, that was the pick on every draft board. Excuse me.
Yikes.
And I was just like, mate, it's never going to happen.
They've bid it on Graham
Oh, really?
because let's take 5
Oi.
minutes to bid
Yep.
on Graham.
Yep. There you go. Someone wants the pick.
I'm headbutting my microphone if you can hear it.
Someone's come in and said, hey, look.
Which will now make, this is 26, 27, 28, 29 picks. Yes, I'm on again. Get around me.
Get around him.
4 hours later.
29 picks today.
Bloody hell. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be fun and exciting.
There's going to be more picks today than tomorrow.
Yeah, probably.
That's
and this
my
is the
bet.
first round.
Might clock.
Get him on the Collard routine and Rankin can go ruck. Yes. On you, Tommy. That's some big brain moves there.
Yeah, like surely they match. Hey, look, North Melbourne's pick goes
Good
down by
hit.
1.
Yep.
Yay.
Hurry up and match the bed.
No, take your time.
I want to go home.
No, you don't.
It's 9:30.
Well,
Got work tomorrow.
It's my bedtime.
We've got to drive, mate.
Yeah, I know,
bedtime,
that's
mate.
true.
Oh, and they all jumped on him.
I
at the
know
same time.
Dave lives here, so that's all right, but we got to stay.
Yeah.
Mate, Dave's been here
This counts as a date
since
night for
dawn.
him too. So
Like almost
he's
it feels
good for the
like
week.
it.
He's bought pizza and booze, like
he
he's
is.
set.
He's sitting in the corner, our producer here, just chilled, loving life.
I think he's hating life at the moment.
Nah, he's loving it.
What is this AFL
he's
bullcrap?
6 beers deep. The other half's not talking to him anymore, but that's all right. He's got his beer and his pizza.
Cheers, man. Love you, Dave. I'm so sorry about this.
Oh, no, they matched the bids. Oh, sorry.
It's not our fault North Melbourne took half a year
North Melbourne
to finally,
wanted friggin'
to finally
this is their
make
day in the
decision.
sun.
Their day in the sun. Okay, that works even better. Instead, we'll just rebrand them to Carlton. Just go ahead and jump. Can we name them the Carlton
And
Mad
yet-
Jack Doors?
Yet it's still not my longest podcast. That night, Chris and I got on. And
Oh, you guys went on
we
all
went
night.
for like 4 or 5 hours.
I slept,
It was so
woke up to go bathroom, and I'm
guys were
like,
still
wait, what a
talking.
second.
Yeah, it's still
Is this
live.
actually still
It's
live?
still
I
live.
went.
The problem was people started donating us money to keep us going, and we're like, "Well, since you've done that, we better keep going." In the early hours of the
I
morning.
couldn't believe it.
I reckon we could do that.
I don't want to do that.
I
No,
know,
the best
I reckon we
one
could.
is Drunk Cast.
Drunk cast.
Drunk Cast. So we did one where, so our loyal fans over at Insiders donated some alcohol to us.
Nice.
And the idea was, so we did a pre-live one where we just got absolutely hammered in the live. We started drinking the live. And then we did our recorded one, which we put out to the public afterwards. And we were that many drinks deep.
Were you vomiting on the,
Mate,
on the
we
stream?
were in Struggle Town. Dead set Struggle Town.
Why
But it
would
was
people want to
hilarious.
watch that though?
Why wouldn't people want to watch that? Like Chris 6 beers deep already, but then once he started getting those double figures and we really rolled him up, oh, it's brilliant.
Don't suggest we do that, guys.
Yes. So there needs to be, and there needs to be different things, like somebody says something or a phrase, get those shots happening.
Oh yes. See, I don't mind that. The drinking
Surely-
games.
Yeah.
The drinking games are
Podcast
fine.
drinking games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something for the fans, because the fans can jump on with us.
Correct.
Gamble and drink responsibly, but they can jump on board with us.
And we've got our Sunny Shop Quartet. Congratulations, Zach. Yes.
Good work, Suns.
Tommy,
It's
AFL
taken
Draft
a
has
while, hey?
AFL Draft has to be the worst draft product and setup from all major sports.
Yep.
Second rate with all these bids delaying. It doesn't help.
I follow the NFL. I don't follow the NBA, but I do watch the NFL and I follow their draft. And it is so watchable, their first round.
Yep.
It's so, they bring out celebs, they bring out... Now, I don't mind what they're sort of doing a little bit, like get their fans, but I was actually just looking at a couple of AFLW comments and from actual players and coaches going, well, we don't get the opportunity to have our players, our people there. And some people have like literally invited every person they've ever met in their life.
I think each
to get
player
hugged
gets
and-
20.
Yeah, it's something
Gets
ridiculous.
20 seats. Each
Yeah.
player that's invited gets 20 seats. So maybe it's like one table.
But
per-
then
Right.
like that, the one with the NFL one, because fans can actually go.
yeah, it's so much better.
But it is, and it does feel a lot quicker.
Well, you could do it here. You just have to make it like 3 minutes instead of 5 minutes, then it would be so much better to watch, but also go live. Like I think a couple of years ago, maybe just before COVID hit or just after, the NAB tried to put a thing that, hey, if you're a fan, you could win tickets to the draft.
I think one of the differences here,
but it just doesn't work.
We don't, because they would have better knowledge of their players because they play in the college system.
Which is
but
something they
each
need
player
to improve,
comes
though.
out, they pretty well hug the commissioner of the NFL, get their top, and then they get off. We're here after each one, they interview each player for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's not the clubs actually taking their 5 minutes. It's literally whoever's in the background producing saying,
well, this is like what this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not done interviewing this player. Okay, now your pick is in. And some clubs said that before that. We had our pick in 30 seconds, but they were like, okay, we'll get to you in 4 minutes time. Kind of.
Oh,
we'll just
my
run the
God.
clock. Yeah, which is just frustrating. And I know it's, you want to know these players and meet these players, but that's something the clubs can probably do.
Correct.
Like afterwards, so
I
go to the
agree.
website. Like if now they're interviewing, say, an Adelaide player. Geelong supporters, Hawthorn supporters, we don't really care about this player. He hasn't gone. We just need to see who went.
someone?
So they went a bolter in Oscar Ryan, the general defender, ranked 56 on the Fox Sports.
Wow. That's a
Very
bolter.
quiet under 18 championships. Now that
So
is-
no one wants a medium forward.
Clearly not.
That's
why
grown.
Collard's gone.
That's grown 5 centimeters in 4 days.
He's lost his pace.
They're all thinking this guy
Oh,
is on
right.
some drugs.
We were right saying they're going to potentially go to the defender,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it's
I don't think he's that tall either.
no, they're comparing him to Adam Sard.
Oh, not bad. Yo, look at Zach, man. He is thoroughly entertained.
Good.
That's good.
If I can do that at 5:33 a.m. after getting up 3.5 hours ago, you can too. He's been up from 2 o'clock.
Mad.
Zach.
Well,
you-
that's like Australians watching English football is almost the same thing.
Yeah, but this is not even Australian football. This is a
less
draft.
entertaining. This guy's watching us talk about football.
He's watching us talk about a draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
Done.
Zach.
Love it.
Zach, massive respect.
So
Zach.
we've got 2 picks left, right? Saints and Carlton. What happens now?
Oh,
Collard.
Collard? I reckon it is. I reckon Collard.
to go.
Collard's
Does he,
here. It's like
Does he?
relative of Brad Hill done.
He's got to go.
Yep.
Like the Saints need outside,
Yep.
and they need other key.
Well, it's funny.
other
Oscar
targets
Ryan, as
forward.
much as he's a bolter, was actually there. So
I'm just trying to work out what this guy's saying, but I can't. I have to go check it later.
you can close captions.
No, not from the AFL
Oh,
website.
I
yeah.
really feel like blowing into this microphone for some reason.
Joe's so pumped. Look
I
at
just
him.
feel like going.
He's had a big day, young Joe.
You know,
Not seasoned performers like us two here.
no.
It's all good, brother.
I'm a baby. I only had one pick. Oh,
Yeah.
you had no picks. Because it all went to Hopper and Toronto.
Come on, the pick's in. Hurry up.
Do people actually watch AFLW in Australia? They do.
Yes, yep.
I grew up in Connecticut and followed women's basketball a bit. Then WNBA started a petty gender war, and no one watches it. AFLW seems a lot more tame. Tame?
Yeah.
In what way?
in that
Depending on what
sense,
social media she
Yeah.
there's not as much men versus women in AFLW because they do a lot of stuff by themselves straight out the book. Like,
And together as
The
well.
AFL, I think, still subsidises a lot.
Yeah.
But the AFLW is basically we're our own competition. That's it. We're not going to pick fights with the men. And they're on at different times of the season as well. So the men's season finishes September. And then North Melbourne, it finishes in August. But September, and then the women's is on early October. Or
But you do
kind
get-
of a couple
there
of
are-
weeks into it. And
There are
then,
people I follow on socials, and they do make it a big they hate the comments when they'll compare a player to a men's player to a women's player, or there's little bits, and there's the same sort of 10, 15, 20 people that pipe up about it. But yeah, it's nowhere near compared to over there in the States.
no.
I don't personally watch it often. Like if it's there and I'm sitting in front of the TV, then I'll watch it. But
My issue, and I can understand a little bit where they're coming from.
Is the
when-
the AFL's blurring out. Is it Fox Footy?
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
Is I would like to go to more games. And the whole thing that the AFL are putting in saying the AFLW need to get more crowds to their games. So there's people out there that could go, and the people who are sitting there going, well, we need bigger crowds. There's actually and it's probably more men, but there are both, all genders out there where people are happy to go. These people crying out for bigger crowds and wanting more games
They
which
don't
is
go.
attached to that. No, they aren't themselves going, okay, I'm going to a game this week. Does anybody want to come with me? Does anybody want to join me? They're not promoting it themselves. And they just think,
Collard. I told
bargain
you.
buy.
He was the right fit for him.
So he's a draft slider.
Yeah,
That's him.
Cooper Gretsch is just going to go. He's just going to weed himself.
He's a
right
star. He's a superstar, they'll say.
Greatest player in the world.
Greatest player.
wait, kick the goal.
Can't wait to get him on Kick It to Scoops.
No, but the big thing with AFLW too is that I know with the WNBA, there's a bit of a thing going that like they'd be able to compete with the men. Look what they can do. The skills are there. It just hasn't happened in the AFL. So there's not that
And it never will.
comparison. It never will.
Never will.
But they kind of understand that. Whereas the WNBA players, they come out and say, yeah, we got to get paid as much as the men. We're as good, blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
That's what happened with the tennis. It's what happened with the tennis. Like when McEnroe was saying that Serena Williams was the greatest female tennis player
and
of
they
all
said
time. It's
player.
like, oh, why are you specifying only female?
Yeah.
Because
But then she came out and said that and goes, I could play the men's and I'd get smashed.
Yeah.
because she did. She lost 6-0, 6-1
Yeah,
to the
to
guy
like-
that was ranked 200 in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's nothing. It's not trying to say that women are inferior in any way, shape, or form. That's not what that is. It's just that they're two separate competitions, and for fairness and for integrity of each of the competitions, it just makes sense for them to have separate comps. There's no need to compare.
Yep.
There's absolutely no reason to compare. So this is the last
that's it.
pick.
Collard, natural goal kicker,
Yeah.
smashed the combine.
Gretsch.
Really good.
Graham replacement done.
It's a whole different kettle of fish. Exactly, Tommy.
Who does Carlton pick now? That's the big question.
Doesn't matter.
Do they have any glaring holes in the team?
I just feel like, well, the supporter base for one.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that we can just close shop and not have to look at Carlton select somebody.
At least it's not bid. Hey, bid. Make a bid. Last pick, 4 bids so it goes even longer.
If
Correct.
anything, it's probably their forward line.
Yeah.
So they just
Because
pick up,
Mackay's
someone,
shit.
probably-
someone developed.
They
The
probably
pick came
could've-
in already.
They probably could have done with like a Collard type there.
The pick's in already.
Fuck Joe Love Carlton. You're funny, Tommy. You're so funny, man. Oh, you're hilarious, Tommy. Yeah, no, I think
They
they're forward
seem
line.
really
Mackay's
happy.
crap.
They seem really happy with the pick. I don't know who it is, but they're really, really happy.
They couldn't believe it. Our guy's still here.
Yeah. Carlton's just like this. Let's get this done. We'll make our pick.
Who is it?
Move on. Nobody knows. We wait.
They've traded the pick.
Bidded.
Tommy, I
Traded.
barrack for Essendon. How
Done
could
something.
how can I
Anything.
love Carlton as an Essendon supporter?
Ashton Moyer.
Oh, that's all right.
Yes.
Moyer?
Good player. This kid was rated like I think I saw a draft board.
Moir.
I saw a draft board online this time last year, and he was rated like top 5. So
Yeah, he had a really
good.
quiet. He actually has had a bit of a quiet year. But yeah, he definitely has
Yeah.
some tricks forward, and that's what we just talked about forward.
and medium forward too. I
Yeah,
think.
that's kind of what
Perfect for him.
exactly what they're missing.
All right. Well, I think that's us for right now. I don't know if
is-
we've got any more comments to come through, but
No, that's it.
Big J's happy to go home.
It's been a long one.
It has almost 3 hours. Actually, yeah, about 3 hours. So
Yeah.
we've done pretty well.
Smashed it. We smashed it, and we've been smashed. So, guys, thank you so much for
Sticking around.
sticking around and watching it with us. Hope you had a fun time. Enjoyed listening to us have our little spiels as opposed to listening to the nerds over there. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you give us a like, a subscribe would be much appreciated.
Tell your friends.
I tell you, the funny quick story about that. So I'm at
Please.
a barbecue yesterday, and a 6-year-old girl's taking
You and your barbecues.
Yeah, barbecue. I'm always at barbecue. 6-year-old girl there, friend of mine and her daughter, takes a photo. And she's like, oh, please like and subscribe. I just like it how they're everyone now, every kid. Oh, it's TikTok. Do you not like, subscribe? But yeah, please do.
Yeah.
And not just us, Centrebounce, Supercoach Insider,
Easy.
the lot,
Yeah.
Fancast, get on around
Fancast
us,
especially.
all our other co-hosts, everybody.
Yeah, Steve, SDS, Jake, Saints
Jake the
TV. Everybody knows who they are.
If
Daz,
not, look through
Talks Footy.
look through previous episodes. Have a good.
100%. Have a look.
Yeah.
We'll see you all in the next one.
Catch you guys.
Bye, guys.
Oi.